beautiful creature. Can you feature that ugly creature? Creature features and feature features about creatures. Creature features. Now the strangest thing about this show or two. Features and creature features and more creatures and more features. And the creature's gonna get you tonight.
And hello, and welcome to Show Us Your Crits, a virtual tabletop show spanning role-playing games, interviews, and reviews. And tonight we are back with the Curse of Strahd. Our heroes have defeated the the undead horde, and now need to take care of some business in town, and then escort Ismark the Lesser and his sister Irina out of Barovia. But before we actually jump into the game and hand it over to Mike, just going to go ahead and say hello and kind of go through our standard stuff here. So let's go ahead and remember that we have a Patreon. And actually, I think I was bitching about it last time, but I was able to actually get into my Patreon account and see the buckets of money that were in there. But in order to make it actual buckets of money, please subscribe. Please fanboy out, fangirl out on us, and help us out. Other than that, you can help us out by going to YouTube and subscribing, hitting the bell for notifications. That is what really helps us the most build up and be able to monetize on YouTube. Definitely Facebook. You can find us there. We do a lot of our promos and everything through Facebook and Instagram, so definitely check us out. And I keep forgetting to bring one upstairs with me, but I wanted to show I have the Show Us Your Crits face mask, so you can go out and beat the virus in style and probably have people look at you really weird for having a topless woman with like dice on her breasts on your face. But anyway, to each their own. And lastly, Wargamer Recon. I don't see Jonathan in the audience tonight, but just wanted to give him a shout out because he is one of our bigger fans. And one more bit of thing I want to talk about, and that is this. So this Sunday, tune in at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and check out our Star Trek stream. We actually are going to have really cool guests. We have Kelly Fitzpatrick and Derek Attigo, who both write for Star Trek Adventures for Modiphius. And we have science fiction authors Terry Mixon, Aaron Rosenberg, and Hans Cummings on the show as well. So it's going to be a great cast, very Star Trek-y, original series. So none of that future stuff. Everyone is basically in really bad lighting and, all the other fun stuff that came with the original series. So other than that, I'm going to turn it over to our game master, and Mike, take it from there.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to, I think, episode 7, I think. I think we're on episode 7. So I guess we'll start. As James had said, quick background, you guys had faced a horde of undead, army of zombies, if you will, that came and stormed the mansion. You were able to fight them off. And unfortunately, you got very little sleep because shortly after the zombies were dispersed, a group of wolves with dire wolves showed up and attacked the mansion as well. And you nearly fought them off. There was some there was some injuries, I believe, in your group, but no one was seriously injured. And I think we left off with just as you had defeated the last of the wolves, the sun was beginning to rise through the gray mist of the morning, and you were deciding on what you were going to do. While you guys are not no worse for wear, there's some minor injuries. I know that there is that unfortunately none of you were able to get any sleep, so you do not gain the benefit of a long rest. and I think we'll start there. But before we get started, why don't we do a quick intro, and everyone can just do a round robin real quick and just let me know the character you're playing for people who are just joining in. So, James, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
All right. Well, I'm Tezcatlipoca. I am a Tabaxi hunter off from the lands of Maztica, who came through the fog and ended up in this strange land. Still trying to figure out things. Still thinks that it's the spirits who have trapped him here. Hopefully, he'll soon figure out that's not particularly the case.
All right, great. All right, why don't you go ahead, Greg? Why don't you introduce your character?
I am. Am I? I am Reginald Fallen Oak, the halfling, and the halfling cleric, and basically he thinks that this is all a big test from his god.
Okay. All right. So, Mary, why don't you go ahead and go next? Introduce your character, please.
Okay, I am playing Breepine Fenwizzle, a gnome magician person. And yeah, wizard. They call them wizards. And she is more at home in a library, but is kind of excited at this point to be out there seeing what's going on.
All right. And last but definitely not least, the paladin of the group. Matt, why don't you go ahead and fill us in?
I am playing Julius, paladin of Helm, god of guardians. Race unknown. I haven't taken my helmet off yet.
Little mystery. Always like that.
That is
So
the
the entire group is now 3rd level. You guys hit a milestone, I believe, not last adventure, but the adventure before. And that is where we start. Currently, you guys had retreated into the basically the center of the mansion and kind of had walled yourself up in one of the bedrooms. And we'll go ahead and flip over to that map real quick. And you guys are trying to decide what to do next. If you remember, of course, Ismark had asked you all please to help him and his sister, Irina, bury their father, who had unfortunately had died in battle a couple nights prior. So you guys had agreed that you would help them go into Barovia and help with the burial and the funeral. And they were going to lead you to the church, of course. So if you guys can all see the map, Irina is with Julius, of course. It looks like Reginald and Ismark were guarding the front door. And James, I do not see. I think your character might have been on the lower level. Yes, there you are. Okay.
There I am.
And you were probably guarding the front door with Breepine, if I remember correctly. So,
I had gone up into the bedroom.
okay, fair enough.
Upstairs.
So as
That's
I said,
where I am right now.
okay. So as I said before, you guys had it's not so much a sunrise as it is. It's just the mist begins to get gradually lighter and lighter. There's still a heavy blanket of fog that is slowly beginning to roll back, and you can see more of the village of Barovia out the windows. But for the most part, you do not see the sun. You only notice that it is getting lighter, which tells you that it is morning time, or at least early morning. The courtyard of the mansion itself looks like a battleground. Looks like a war was waged. There's dead zombie bodies everywhere, all over the place, and you can see wolves and dire wargs. Of course, the dire wolves also lying around in large pools of blood. It looks pretty awful. It looks like a terrible battle was waged, and there's no denying that. So Ismark says to you, he comes up upstairs to the bedroom and says to you all, well, I think we're safe for now. I think the attacks have stopped. we can try and make our way to the church unless you all have something else you need to do before we leave Barovia. The church is just on the outskirts of the town. It is on the edge of the town,
Has
actually.
the church, Ismark, has the church been a relatively safe place historically?
He shakes his head and looks very grim. He says, unfortunately, no, it is not. The church has also fallen under attacks of similar creatures, but is not attacked nearly as often. Lately, it seems like the attack seems to be centered on my house and home, and are centered on trying to find and locate Irina.
Nuts. All right. Well, it doesn't seem as if we're going to get any rest here, so I'm game for moving out.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Okay.
The reservations I have is bringing her closer towards the castle.
But I thought the town, this was the church near.
The castle's right above the town.
Well, but the church could be the opposite direction from the castle.
In this case, unfortunately, Reginald is correct. Going to the church with Irina we're talking, a quarter of a mile, but yes, it would be quarter of a mile closer to Castle Ravenloft.
Well, it's not like we've got a big option here. Do you have a better idea?
Not one that doesn't involve splitting up, so no, not really.
I don't think splitting up would be the best idea.
Yes, split up. Yes,
Probably not.
sorry. I didn't say that. That wasn't me.
What was the best idea?
So while you guys are talking, you see that Irina approaches you, Julius, and she says, "Noble knight, I must thank you for your fortitude and taking me under your wing and making sure that I was defended throughout the night. I do appreciate it."
Of course, milady. It is my duty.
She smiles and she says, she's kind of peering cautiously, like she's trying to see if she can see into the visor. And she says, please accept a small token of my appreciation. And she hands you a handkerchief with her initials embroidered into it.
I take it and give her a bow.
She smiles and she gives you a polite curtsy. And Ismark says, yes, well, we have plenty of food. If you need any supplies, such as food or water, they're down in the kitchen and you can help yourself. Take whatever you need. And then I suppose we should probably get going as soon as we can.
That's actually a good idea. And if they let us raid the pantries, then I definitely want to go in and stock up on whatever we can carry.
Okay. So he leads you downstairs to the first floor. It's a mansion, so it's adequately stocked. Only 3 people live here plus a servant, but there's plenty of food and water there. There's wine. They're not dry rations. They're regular food, but you guys can take as much as you can carry.
Is there like any cheese?
Yes. Yep. There's definitely some hard cheese there, cheddar or something that falls into that category.
I would take some cheese, maybe a loaf of bread.
A wheel of Parmesan about the same size as her.
Is there salt, Mike?
Is there salt? Interesting. Why don't you make while salt isn't something normally a spice that's found in many kitchens, why don't you go ahead and make a search roll and see if you can find some.
All right. Let's see. A search roll. Everyone likes search rolls.
Wait, is that one I make? Is that a roll I do?
That's one you make.
Never mind. I make that roll. Relay that order.
You know, Mikey, you should probably write those down.
Yeah, I think we already had this conversation.
There are
yes.
worse things.
You find a very small bag that does indeed have some salt in it.
All right. And the reason I want salt, because if we find any scraps of meat or anything like that, we could definitely take some salt and put the meat in it and wrap it up. At least it'll keep longer.
Okay, so sure, you could definitely do that. There's everything you need in order to make salted beef, or to take beef and wrap it in salt, and then they have.
We have all this wolf meat just lying around.
Ismark is actually outside. It looks like he's trying to at least drag all the bodies into one area, while you guys are getting supplies inside.
I can help him with that.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to go and check the wolves and make sure whether or not they are
Edible?
Let me rephrase that. They were healthy.
Okay. Are you? I guess I'm going to say maybe a survival roll, or nature. It depends. You can either do survival or nature, whichever one you want to go with.
What I get?
If you have a proficiency in one or the other.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait, there we go. 14.
The wolves are definitely feral. They don't look like they were domesticated wolves. They look like they have been eating well. They don't look starved. What other information were you looking for?
Basically, is the meat edible? Is it safe to eat?
If it was properly cooked, yeah, sure, it could be eaten.
Waste not, want not.
Yeah,
take some of the meat.
Grody.
I mean, Tezcatlipoca's a hunter. He could skin and basically prepare that wolf very, very, very nicely.
A gourmet meal.
Well, not gourmet, but make sure I take the right cuts of meat and skin it properly, so it's not like, oh, look, there's wolf hair in my meal.
Okay.
Do you really think the cats care if there's hair in their meal?
Well,
we eat panthers all the time, but I wouldn't tell Tez that.
So yeah, just drag a couple of wolves in, and I'll do some Benihana magic on them.
There we go.
Okay. So for you, how much wolf meat are you trying to only because you guys are in somewhat of a hurry? You're not. You could definitely turn this into an all-day affair. So how long do you spend, and how much wolf meat are you looking to get?
I'm actually asking the internet. How long does it take to butcher a wolf?
You're asking who?
The internet.
Yeah. So.
This is gonna be like Oregon Trail. You shot 5,000 pounds of meat, but you were only able to carry back 200.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, along the way, you die of dysentery.
Well, this video is on it too on YouTube. That's frightening. Anyway, it says 20 minutes to cook, but does it say how? So I don't know, Mike. What would you say it takes to skin and prep an animal?
Animal like a wolf, I'd say if you know what you're doing, you could probably have its skin gutted and all the edible meat removed from it in about 30 to 40 minutes. If you wanted to try and make it faster, you'd need to make a roll. But I'm assuming your character knows what he's doing. So I'm going to say between 30 and 40 minutes, you'd be able to take one of the smaller wolves and basically clean it and gut it.
All right. So I'll prepare one wolf.
Yeah, it looks like for a deer, it only takes about 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, but it all depends on what you're doing to it.
Yeah.
True.
I mean,
So
preparing it for travel is going to take a little bit longer.
So I'll say 30 minutes for you to have the meat ready for you to basically put into a backpack or a pouch or what have you.
Yeah, that's what I'll use the salt on too, just so we can keep it a little longer.
Are you trying to save the pelt, or are you just like
No,
cutting her up?
No, I'll keep like the wolf head and pelt if someone wants to make a nifty hat. Cloak.
All right. So while you are butchering the wolf, what are the rest of you guys doing?
Shaking my head in dismay.
Okay.
Basically, I'm taking the meat that he gets off of the wolf and I'm packing it up.
Okay. So Ismark and Irina have taken all the bodies and the animals that you aren't butchering, and they have made basically a large pile of them, which is actually a pretty decent pile. It's almost about 10 feet in diameter and probably about 3 or 4 feet tall.
Bonfire.
And they're in the process of pouring lamp oil and a lot of lamp oil. Looks like they're pouring oil all over the bodies.
I will assist.
Okay.
I will continue to shake my head in dismay.
All right.
Ever helpful.
Fair enough.
I'm just not completely sure why we're bothering and not just leaving them all where they were. I mean,
you don't want them to come back.
Stay here and wait for a bonfire to burn down? I mean,
No, we're just lighting it and leaving.
Leaving it there for the house to catch on fire.
I don't think they're planning on coming back.
Well, then what do we care if they're in the middle of everything?
Well, they're mostly, Ismark says he's mostly worried about disease. He doesn't want anything to spread into the rest of the town.
If he's deserting them anyway, what is it?
Yes, because just because you're deserting them doesn't mean, who cares? Let them all die of disease. Well, whatever.
Well,
I won't be around.
Mike, I'm gonna keep the pelt, the head, and the rest of the pelt as much as I can, and pack it up. And over time, I'll dry it out because I'm gonna give Bree Pine a gift of a wolf hat and cloak.
Be the same size as her.
Yeah, he'll kind of look like what's his face from Willow, one of the pixies, that had the mouse.
Oh, I'm sure when you actually give her this, she's gonna love it. So that's good. Yeah. So Bree Pine, Ismark says, you are right though. I'm concerned. We can't just leave a bonfire and we don't have time to light it, wait for it to burn down. So I'm going to notify one of the other townsfolk, and they'll have to come by and they'll have to light the bonfire and watch it.
There you go.
We leave.
That makes more sense.
Okay, so then I guess you guys are all ready to go. Everyone has all their stuff packed up, and Irina and Ismark begin leading you through the town of Barovia. There is still a heavy blanket of clouds. The cloud cover is very dense. The color of the clouds range from like a steel gray to almost a dark black, a very ominous color. It looks like there might be rain at some point later in the day. You do see some thunderclouds. The traffic in the town is very subdued. As I mentioned earlier, the town seems very weathered and worn. Everything looks like it's on the verge of falling apart, or paint is peeling, or wood is splintering. Everything looks very old and aged. There are people on the streets, but for the most part, they seem to be going about their business, and they give you plenty of leeway if you begin walking towards them. I don't want to say they're avoiding you, but yeah, they're avoiding you.
Are they still avoiding Taz or everybody?
They're avoiding just you guys, the whole group. Unfortunately, Tezzacodal just gives them, it reminds them too much of what they called lichens when you were first introduced. Mm-hmm. But the whole group seems to have earned the stigma, unfortunately.
It's that color of your fur. It just looks like cruddy stuff on a rock.
So unless you guys stop or do anything in town, Ismark is just going to lead you to the outskirts of the town itself.
Are we letting whoever know to go out and get the bonfire?
He does. He does stop, and he has a conversation with one of the other townsfolk and basically gives them instructions to, at some point during the day, to return to his mansion and make sure to light the bonfire and burn it down to ashes. So
now, do we have a cart, or are we like carrying the body?
They have a very tired-looking horse and a small cart, and they have loaded a very simple wooden coffin, and they've loaded the coffin into the cart, and that is how they are leading the body through the town. And now that I mentioned that, it's very possible that people are avoiding you because you guys are leading a coffin through town too. Most people, when they see a coffin coming, they either are out of respect or just out of aversion to the dead. They don't want to linger, so they are giving you wide berth for multiple reasons. So I'm going to flip over to another map of Barovia real quick. Just let me know when you guys can see it.
Yep.
All right. So this is the town of Barovia there. Now, in the upper left corner, the northwest corner, that is where the church is, and the mansion itself. Yep, thank you, whoever pinged that. And the mansion where you guys are coming from is all the way down south. Yep, very good.
And then what?
You guys are basically going through the entire town. You're going right up the street to the chapel. There's a question, Mary, you had?
What's this thing?
Well, you don't know for sure, but you could ask Irina or Ismark and see if they know.
And is the castle's not on the map?
No, the castle would be a couple miles and a couple miles elevation above you. So no, not on the map.
Are any of the buildings we're passing shops? Like
The only shop to speak of is the one at the crossroads. There is, well, that's close. This one here, whoops. I still can't mark for some reason. It drives me nuts.
you gotta make sure you're on the pointy thing.
Oh, there I go. I almost got it. Yes, that one. That one is the actual mercantile shop that you guys stopped at when you first got to the town.
Okay.
And then Blood on the Vine, which is the tavern, is right here.
Okay.
Which seems to be the only tavern. As you can see from the map, it's not a very big town. Maybe 400, maybe 500 people tops. So barely counts as a village.
Boy.
So if you can see, on the very top of the map, you can see that there is some slight elevation. The church is church is built into the side of the mountain. Basically, it's built on the foothills. Is on one of the hills overlooking the rest of the town. And then if you went further up, it gradually climbs in elevation, and eventually you would get to Castle Ravenloft.
And what kind of church is this?
It is you can see that it sits on a slight rise. You can see it is at the base of the mountain that supports Castle Ravenloft. It is a gray, sagging edifice of stone and wood. You can see that it once had a bright white color painted on the wood itself, but it has been so many years that you can see that the paint is peeling off in large flakes off the side of the building itself. You can see as you get closer that the church has weathered the assaults of evil for years, it looks like, and is worn and weary. There is a bell tower that rises towards the back of the building, and you can see a flickering light that shines through holes in the shingled roof. You can see that the rafters themselves seem to almost strain under the load of the the roof itself. There is no clear denomination as far as the God or religion of this church. You don't see anything on it that would give you any kind of indicator about who is worshipped or what is worshipped in this church. As you are gradually coming up the hill, you can see the huge wooden double doors slowly creak open with a loud creak and a groan. You can hear the hinges shriek, even though you guys are still probably several hundred feet away. And you can see a figure emerging from the building itself, looking as you guys are slowly coming up the hill with the coffin.
Hello. Does it look like a priest?
Yes, it does look like a human male that is dressed in religious robes or religious attire. And you can see he has his hands clasped in front of him. He has a very somber look about him. And he can see he's looking expectantly as you guys are coming up the hill.
I whisper over to Ismark. Is that the priest that's going to be doing your service?
He nods. He says, yes, that is Father Donovich. He has been the priest of Barovia for as long as I can remember.
All right. So I just try and hurry up and get there.
Okay. So you guys follow the wagon, and the wagon pulls up to in front of the church itself. And you can see a wizened gentleman is standing there. He is clean shaven with a receding hairline. You'd say that he's probably in his mid-50s, maybe a little older, maybe late 50s. He gives you a thin smile and he says, welcome all to the church. My name is Father Donovich. Ismark, it is good to see you. And he approaches and he holds out his hand in friendship and he says, I am truly sorry for your loss. And he says, Irina, he says, I apologize. I am sorry that we come on such grave tidings. He says, however, I'm not familiar with your friends. And he kind of looks at everybody, and Tezzacotl, once again, he seems to give you the stink eye. He gives you a very long look over, and he says, would you care to introduce me to your companions? So Ismark says, of course, forgive me. These are strangers. They have come from another land, but they have pledged their allegiance, and they have fought bravely for us. I would trust them with my life. The one towards the back is Tezzacotl. He is a noble fighter, very good with the spear. To his left is Julius, the paladin. And then there's Reginald. And then last but not least is Brepine, who is a skilled caster of magic. And Father Donovich seems to give a very pleased nod. He says, welcome all of you.
Thank you.
I wish we were meeting under better circumstances.
He kind of nods gravely. He says, it is truly unfortunate that the Ismark the Elder has passed. He was one of the people that kept the town in good spirits. I don't know what they'll do with his passing. I'm going to make a quick perception roll for each of you. Wait, do I make perception rolls or do you guys make perception rolls? I make perception rolls. All right, well, hang on.
You're not supposed to tell us.
I know. Like I'm learning how to play the game all over again.
Yeah, no problem. There are worse things.
Hey, Mike, you got Post-it notes?
Yeah, we talked about the notes. So everyone else, you guys seem to be kind of taken in by Father Donovich. Julius, he seems a little bit. I mean, he seems very pleasant. He seems like he's very welcoming. I mean, he seemed like he was a little uneasy when he first saw Tezzacotl, but he's relaxed a little bit. But he still seems a little nervous for some reason. You get this nervous vibe off of him, and you don't know why. And then what the rest of you didn't hear, but Tezzacotl, you heard very faintly, just in the range of your hearing. It almost sounded like from behind him, the sound of a scream of agony. You very faintly heard. It was a muffled scream, like someone going, "Ah!" And it was very faint. And then it went away that quickly. It was just, you're like, is that at first you're like, is that a bird? Is that a bird call? No, that sounded like somebody screaming in torment.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll see Tessacotl's ears kind of do that like face forward thing, and I kind of crouch a little bit, and I said,
Okay.
and I go, Father, do you have anyone else in there with you?
He kind of gives a broad smile, and he goes, why do you ask, my furried friend? I'm going to make a second perception roll for all of you. Okay, Bree Pine, you also seem to notice that Father Donovich looks a little nervous. Tezzacotl, you also seem to, when you ask him the question, you can definitely see that he looks a little uneasy. And Reginald, you are oblivious to everything around you except for your feet.
I'm going to. He's standing right in the doorway?
He is. It's a double doors. He has one of the doors open, and he is standing in the door.
I'm going to step up to him and say, "May we come in and make ourselves a little more comfortable?"
Well, of course. Forgive me. I was taken aback by the body laying in rest. Please, everybody, welcome to my church. He opens up both of the doors, and he says, "But first, before you enter, if you'd be so kind to help me move the body into the church and rest it on the altar, so we can perform final rites."
Of course.
Yes.
Okay.
I will go and help pick up the coffin and carry it in.
If four of you are going to help, including Ismark, I won't even bother rolling. You guys, if there's more than four people helping, that's more than enough to move the body inside. So
I sort of go like this.
Okay.
Without really.
It's like I could help. I'd like to help, but I have to be wearing stilts to help.
Well, between Ismark, Tezzacotl, Julius, and the priest, you guys are there for moral support, but they're able to get it inside.
Bree Pine can get on my shoulders.
You guys are the cheerleaders.
Yay, right.
So as you guys carefully bring the pine coffin down on top of the altar, you can kind of hear it scratch against the stone. The interior of the church looks much like the exterior. It's very weathered and worn. You can see some very old pews, but they look like they haven't been treated or taken care of in quite a long time. Some of them are cracked. Some of them are broken. And as you guys rest the coffin down on the altar, you can hear a very muffled cry coming from somewhere within the church. You can't hear it, but all of you distinctly heard a human cry out, somebody like almost calling out a name. But it was muffled enough that you couldn't hear what they said. You just heard a voice cry out.
Can I tell which direction it came from?
You can. Why don't you go ahead and make a perception roll for me if you want to determine if you can try and isolate where that noise came from. Anyone else want to do the same thing? Go ahead and just make a perception roll for me.
Woo, 18.
Ooh, we get to make our own rolls. Awesome.
This time, mister. Don't get used to it.
All right, perception. And that is going to be a magical number of 21. I have.
All right. So we got everybody here except for Reginald. Are you rolling?
No, I'm worried about the body.
Okay, fair enough. Bree Pine, actually everybody with the rolls you guys have, Bree Pine, you can't seem to isolate it. You think it's coming from somewhere beyond the altar, though. Matt and James, you guys, the sound seems to be coming from beneath you, definitely, without a doubt. Maybe a basement or a sub-level, but the sound is coming, it's rising up from beneath you, and it sounds relatively close by.
I'll say, Father, do you have a hospital or a place where the sick are in this church?
He looks very nervous, and he says, "Well, no. Why would you ask that? There's no way. There's no hospital here."
I hear moaning and screaming coming from your basement.
Mike, did it sound like it was coming through a stone floor, or did it sound like there was some kind of opening that it was coming through?
It sounded like the sound was permeating through the stone floor.
Okay, I'm looking around to see if there's stairs anywhere, doors leading to places that might have stairs.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have an interior of the building, so I don't know exactly what my character
I'm
is doing.
actually looking for a building interior map right now. So give me a couple seconds here. See if I don't know if the module actually provided one or if they did one of these. Tell them to imagine it.
What? Use our imagination?
I know, right?
Oh, what kind of game are we playing?
All right, 1 second. Let me make sure. I've got one here. I'm going to see if I can make sure that the fog is actually foggy.
Okay.
So 1 second.
The frog.
We want it to be like the house basement where you can see everything.
All right, let's see if this works.
Dramatic fade.
So right now you guys see nothing, right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Beautiful nothing.
Beautiful nothing.
Hey, Mike, if you can get
the void.
Mike, if you can get rid of the turn order thing too, that would.
Yeah, might as well.
There we go.
It'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a hallway.
Dun,
He's gonna
dun.
be the mini boss, isn't he? I have to kill the priest. Means I'm gonna have to do the service.
Oh wow.
Holy. Boy, your description did not do justice to that.
What? What did I not do?
Destroyed.
Did
I
they
did
run out
Talking
of...
about are you talking about the room or the priest?
Yes. You said the pews were weathered and a couple of them were kind of broken.
Well, I guess, kind of is kind of a debatable term, I guess.
It looks like a bomb went off in here.
Or like they ran out of Eucharist and suddenly everyone just basically went crazy. No more wafers.
That's it. I'm eating the pew.
So we'll take out kinda and we'll put in heavily destroyed. So all right, so that's the interior of the church.
See, that makes things a little more suspicious.
What's that?
That makes things a little more suspicious.
The fact that the pews are all
from the way
destroyed.
I can see
They are totally destroyed.
From the way I can see the priest's picture, if you put him in, made his white robe black, he'd look like Fester.
Hey, give him a light bulb. He can...
Yeah, stick a light bulb in his mouth.
So the sound that you guys heard seems to be coming actually beneath you, but back towards the entrance.
And there are 4 doors in the hallway here.
There are.
I'm going to sniff around using my magical nose.
And these here, these 6 Duflunci are windows?
Yes, those are windows. They look like they're reasonably intact. I mean, some of them have some panes broken, but it's a traditional stained glass window. But yeah, it looks like some of them have suffered some damage.
Okay.
So as I said before, Father Donovich looks a little bit nervous and uneasy, and he says, I haven't heard any noises or screams.
So I turn to Father and I say, did you have an accident in here? I look at the pews.
He says, unfortunately, the church has been attacked on a regular basis. This is a place of worship, and this is a place of hope where the people of Barovia go to try and find some good cheer and hope in their lives. But regrettably, it has fallen under attack by undead on a regular basis, and I don't have the manpower to repair it.
Doesn't your god protect you from the undead?
Are you insulting his god?
I'm just questioning his god. The god doesn't seem to be helping out too much.
He sends people to help.
He smiles and he says, "Why, yes, young lady, that is true. Unfortunately, our pleas to our God have fallen silent. They have not been answered."
Have you made the proper sacrifice?
He kind of raises an eyebrow towards you. You managed to insult his God and insult him at the same time.
We happen to have a couple humans here that you can sacrifice.
Hey, who sacrifices humans?
Yeah, why not sacrifice a gnome with a big mouth?
Mike, I'm gonna walk back this way. Like while everyone's talking, I'm just gonna kind of do that like nonchalant backwards walk, whistling.
Okay.
I'll keep the priest preoccupied.
It's kind of weird to watch a tabaxi whistle too. I don't even know how that works with like cat mouth.
I would imagine it's kind of a high pitched wailing, maybe. I don't know.
Have you never watched Tom and Jerry?
Well, yeah,
Right.
Tom and Jerry can whistle. All right, well.
So as soon as you start moving back towards the doors, Father Donovich starts following you, and he says, my good friend, there's nothing to be found back there. Those are just some private quarters. And as he finishes saying that, you all hear in a very muffled tone, Father!
Please!
And he kind of stops, walking, and he looks incredibly guilty. He looks like, obviously you guys heard that, so he looks very guilty at you.
Did we interrupt your party?
So he approaches you, I guess, Tezzacotl, and he says to you in a very soft voice, he says, "Please, you have to help me. He's my only son. He's all I have left."
Who?
Can you be more specific?
He says, "He's my son, Danu." That is the person calling out.
And
What is the matter with him? We might possibly be able to help. The halfling heals and I heal, and the shiny and metal one heals, and the little short one can
talks a lot.
It was
taunt
insane.
taunt demons, I guess.
He looks like he's trying very hard to put on a brave face, but he looks very worried. He says, "Let me take you to my son. I will show you. I'll do I'll help you however I can. I just ask you to please help my son if you're able to." So he leads you all back towards the entrance, and he opens one of the doors to the rooms. So that door is opened. You can see this room. The ceiling from above has very large holes in it, and it looks like rain has collected in here. All the furniture's been moved out. But one thing you do notice that there is a trap door with a chain and a lock on it. And And then as he opens the door and begins to approach the trap door, you can hear again coming distinctly, coming from beneath the trap door. You hear, "Father, please!"
And then the trap door bangs against chains, and you hear "Dead by Dawn."
Father Donovich says, yes, my son, I'm here. I'm coming. And he pulls out a key ring and he begins unlocking the padlock. And
before you open that, could you just give us a little idea of what's going on here? I mean, is he possessed by demons, insane, homicidal? I mean...
Well, back at these times, they thought all that was the same thing.
All the same thing? I mean, what's going on?
He says it all began not too long ago after the undead started storming Barovia. My son, Yodoru, was one of the people that tried to stop the undead from attacking the church, and they bit him, and I thought he would die, but he did not. But he's still alive, but he is not himself. I fear that he has gone mad, and he continues to tell me that he's hungry and that he needs to eat.
Has he tried to bite you?
The priest nods his head very slowly.
So he's probably rabid.
Does he have pointy teeth?
I think so.
You think so?
Well, he's very pale and gaunt, and yes, I think his teeth are sharper. They appear sharper, and he won't eat anything unless I catch it and kill it myself and bring it to him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never enough.
Have you tried fire?
He says again. He says, I lost my younger son and my wife to the first raid of the undead. My son, my oldest one, Danu, he's all that I have. He's all that I have left. He says, please help me. And he he says, I have him chained below. I'll show you. I'll show you where he is. And he unlocks the padlock, and the heavy chain rattles against the trap door. And as it does, you can hear from below, somebody cries out and says, "Father, I'm starving." And you hear the priest say, yes, I hear you, my son. I'm coming. I'm coming. And he pulls the chain away from the trap door, and he kind of gives you all a look, and then he slowly opens the trap door with a heavy creak. You can see a very small, narrow wooden staircase, very rickety, but it looks like it's solid enough that you can walk on it. It's not going to fall apart. And it leads down into darkness. You can see as you open it up, it's very dark in there. There are no lights, and there's a very foul stench coming from the basement. The best way to describe it is the smell of unwashed bodies and decay would probably be the best description. And you see that he picks up a small candle that has a glass encased in glass, like a small candle lantern. And you see that he takes a second to light it. And down below, you can hear like this really fierce, intense rattling of chains. And he says, "Yes, my son, I hear you. I'm coming. I'm coming. The bright lady is shining on us. She's looking at both of us now." And he starts
you dinner.
He starts walking down the stairs and kind of looks up at you all expectantly, and then continues down the staircase.
I will follow.
I will
Okay.
follow as well.
I have a feeling he is not going to like our answer. I follow.
Okay.
I will follow last, but with not much interest because there's nothing I can do for this guy except for blow him up.
I didn't catch the last part, except for what now?
Blow him up.
Oh, that's what I thought you said.
Euthanasia, shall we call it?
I have a sad feeling that's probably going to be the answer.
Where are the other two?
They're standing in the room with you guys, and they look very grim. And Ismark says,
if you two would stay here, if you two would stay here, please.
He nods. He says, Irina, there's nothing we can do downstairs. Let us go tend to our father. And they depart, and they go back over to the altar. We will wait for you guys, your return. And they leave the room.
And I feel it will be a happy return.
So you guys all go down this rickety, creaky staircase. You're in the basement now. James, if you want to slide the map over to the right, there is another part that has been revealed. The other right. There you go. So you guys hit the bottom, and you can see some heavy wooden posts. You can see a very large open cellar. It looks like at one point this might have been a wine cellar. You can see a lot of empty casks and kegs that line the walls. And you can see Father Donovich is slowly making his way across the cellar towards a noise that you can hear in the far corner, the far upper left-hand corner of the cellar itself. Unless you guys are planning on doing anything, I'll just go ahead and reveal the rest of the room. But I just wanted to give you the opportunity to do anything before you actually begin approaching his son. Is there anything you guys plan on?
I'm going to go ahead and burn a spell slot. So let me go ahead and burn that here. And I'm going to use a special feature of the Monster Hunter called Primeval Awareness. And what it does is it allows me to sense aberrations, celestials, dragons, elemental, fae, fiends, or undead that are present within a mile of me.
Okay. Okay. So when you activate that ability, yes, without a doubt, without a question, there is undead within this area. You can say for certain that it is less than 100 feet away.
All right.
I don't know how exact it is. James, does it get exact, or is it just give you ballpark figures?
Let's see. It says to sense whether any of these are present within 1 mile of you. The feature doesn't reveal the creature's location or number. So I just get a sense that whatever. So is it undead I'm picking up or celestial?
Yes.
Okay.
It is definitely undead, and based on that description, I would say undead that is very close by.
All right. I will. I'll turn to Reginald because I know he's a shaman type, and I'll say, I sense the undead here, my friend.
Okay.
Is anybody doing anything else before I reveal the rest of the room?
I am just sort of letting a little frost triple. So basically, I'm preparing a cantrip that if something's going bad, I'm going to shoot it. But it just looks like a little frost happening on the tips of my fingers.
Okay.
I'm drawing my sword.
Oh, you're drawing your weapon?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Father Donovich, when you draw your weapon, Father Donovich turns to you and says, please, there must be something we can do for my son.
Just a safety precaution.
Yes, I sense undead down here. So I just want to make sure that we are protecting you and your son.
He kind of gives a slow nod. Okay, so here's the rest of the room.
Wow.
Can you click on the token and hit Shift Z?
What's that?
Click on the token and hit Shift Z.
Oh, you want to get a good
good look
at. Get a good look at.
Do we really want to?
Yeah, hang on. Let me see if I got to click on the token here.
Mm-hmm.
Shift C. There you go.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's Home Alone Kevin.
So as you guys approach, you can see a young human male in his 20s. He is gaunt. He is very thin. His clothes are in rags. He has almost a feral-looking appearance to him. He is kind of on his haunches, and he's clawing at the ground with very sharp-looking talons. And he kind of looks up, and he has this wild, raggedy hair about him. And he says, "Father, what did you bring me to eat? I'm hungry." And he immediately starts on his hands and knees. He starts scrabbling across the ground. You can see that there's a heavy chain that is chained around his neck like a collar, and he is chained to the wall. And he immediately brings that chain taut, and then stops, and he falls to the ground, and he starts clawing at the ground, and he says, "I'm so hungry," and he's about there now. And Father, you can see Father Danu looks very upset. You can see that he's kind of, fighting back tears, if you will. And he says, "It's okay, son. I've brought you some help. They're here to help you. Please, just rest easy. We're going to see what we can do to help you." And he kind of turns and looks at all of you, and he says, "Please, is there anything you can do for my son?"
Let me see if I know that.
You will not like anything I can do.
James, probably a no-brainer, but you're pretty sure the sense of undead is directly in front of you. The undead feeling, that's that guy right there with the chain on him.
13 on my religion. Is there any cure to this other than the cure that is obvious?
You can go ahead and make a roll. Right now, the only thing that you know is
I got a 13.
The only cure that you're aware of is one that involves swords or fire or holy water.
Well, look, I got the same thing.
Hey, we're on the same wavelength.
Uh-huh.
Sadly.
I've got my sword out for a reason.
All right, so only two people, or James, did you roll you didn't roll religion, right?
No, I did not, but I'm kind of thinking I already, Ted basically whispers a name under his voice that I can't particularly pronounce, but it's something like Chuateto, which is an Aztec vampire. So
you can see Doru is on his hands and knees, and he really does look like he's almost like he's having some kind of inner conflict, some kind of fighting. He's clawing at the ground, and he's looking up at all you, and he says, I can smell your blood. And then he's like gets back down on the ground, and he's like shaking his head back and forth. He looks like he's either insane or possessed. You're not sure which. Maybe both. So Reginald, with a 13, it's possible there is some kind of divinational power that can free somebody from the confines of being a vampire. It doesn't look like, at least you don't think this person is a full-blown vampire, because if he was, a chain wouldn't be able to hold them. If this was a true vampire, this person would have been able to free themselves by turning into a bat or turning into mist. This isn't a true vampire. But unfortunately, the divinational power that you would need to free him, you don't have it. It would require somebody that is a much higher faith than you currently own. So right now, the only thing you can think of is offering him a quick death. That's the only salvation you think you can offer him. Matt, you got the same role. Yep. You basically come to the same conclusion. It's possible that there might be some kind of divinational power or possibly some kind of magical ability, like maybe a limited wish or something, or a miracle that would be able to revert this person back. But short of that, the only thing that you know of that could free him truly is a quick death. Unfortunately, he's gone. He has fallen to the side of undead, and it would take considerable power and considerable magic in order to bring him back.
I put my arm around the priest's shoulders.
Okay.
And I kind of turn him and begin walking with him slowly away. And I say, Father, do you have any divine magical abilities?
He says, I am a simple priest. I am one of the faith, but my abilities cannot help my son. I have tried. I have prayed. And at this point, he slowly starts to break down, and he starts sobbing a little bit. He says, nothing I've done was able to help him. I've prayed with him night and day, and no change has happened. And I don't know where you're leading him. Are you leading him just away, or are you leading him to a place in particular?
In this general direction.
Oh boy.
I am watching him walk away with the priest, sort of keeping an eye to see if he's going to give a nod, like let loose with the spell.
So at this point in time, I don't know if any of you guys have seen up in close and personal a vampire. So why don't you all make some sanity rolls for me? This is actually technically not a true vampire, but yeah, either way, you guys haven't seen one of these before, and seeing this kind of undead up close and personal is a little unnerving. All right, we got a 10, we got a 19, we got a 30.
Wow.
Holy crap, James!
Well, he got a plus 18 to his roll. So
that's right. I don't know why it does that. Actually,
a 19.
Yeah, it's giving me like a plus 18 to my sanity.
Where are you clicking, dude?
I'm clicking on my sanity score. Oh, here we go. Now it should actually. There we are. So I got a 16.
A 16.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations. You guys all made your sanity. However, this is still a very unsettling encounter, especially if it goes the way I think it's going to go. Before you guys leave the basement, each of you are going to take 2 sanity points.
2 sanity.
As you reconcile the best you can with this very unfortunate encounter. So the priest, Father Donovich, is pretty much collapsed in your arms, Julius. I don't want to. Well, I mean, he hasn't like fallen against you, but he kind of slumps against you, and he's just openly weeping now because you kind of get the idea he knows what's coming.
Yeah, I try to comfort him as I say to him, the love you feel for your son it makes me have to ask, how long are you willing to allow him to suffer this way?
He says, I cannot bear it any longer. He says, to see him suffer in this way, I can't. But I can't bring myself to, and then he stops.
I hold him, like I'm assuming his head is on my chest or something like that. He's
got one arm slumped over your shoulder, and he's just kind of got his head like against your shoulder, and he's kind of hiding his hand with his face with his hand.
So behind my back, I kind of go like this. That's your cue.
And if I see it,
I do pass to the grave on him.
I'm sorry, you're doing what now, Reginald?
Pass to the grave. I pull up my holy symbol, hold it up, and I'd pick him, and whoever's the next person to deal him damage deals as if he had vulnerability to the damage. So basically double damage.
So
I use my frostbite.
Right. So Greg, as soon as you produce your holy symbol, the Danu looks at you and gives like this really feral snarl and kind of, and he immediately lunges for you. Of course, he doesn't go anywhere. The chain immediately pulls taut and he drops to the ground, but he's thrashing around like he's possessed. And you can see the chain is whipping back and forth. It looks like he's trying desperately to free himself from the chain. Do you, Breepine, do you have to roll to hit?
Yes.
Okay. So he's not going to obviously just let you hit him, so you're going to have to make a roll to hit.
Forgive me, sir.
I don't know how long this is going to go on. If this goes on more than a round, I'll break out the turn counter, but let's see what happens here.
Hold on.
Did you roll any higher?
Oh, so you have to make a con save.
Maybe he'll make a con save.
He has to make a Constitution save?
Yes.
All right. Let me take a look at his Constitution.
Is this like a half, or is this like save or nothing?
Is this
the cantrip save or nothing?
Save or nothing?
God, I hope it's nothing. God, I hope it's nothing. Please be nothing. Please be nothing. Don't waste my ability on 3 points of damage.
He does not make his save. Oh wait, what is the DC?
13.
Yes. He does not make his save.
So if it's vulnerability, he takes 6.
He takes 6 points of cold damage, is it?
Cold damage.
All right.
An attempt was made.
I'm going to, as I hear this going on behind me, I'm going to say to him, Father, we'll try and make this as fast as possible. And I turn around with my sword and I move to go and hit and attack him.
Okay. Father Donovich basically collapses to the ground. He is overcome with emotion.
Of course he is.
So, Breepine, you reach out, and is it a ray of frost? Is that what you're shooting?
Frostbite. But basically it's it is frost forms on the creature.
Okay. So you can see like this fine layer of frost begin to coat his arms and his torso, and you hear him basically throw his head back, and he lets out this inhuman howl of rage, and then he immediately grabs the chain with all of his strength and begins yanking on it as hard as he can. He looks very unhappy. He looks the opposite of happy. So you see the chain get pulled taut, and you can see the steel rung where it's in the wall. You see it get pulled tight, and then you see it bend a little bit, very slightly, but everything holds. At this point in time, let me bust out the turn counter, and then once I have it out, everybody can. We're gonna need to make some. We're gonna need to make some rolls. This isn't going to be resolved immediately. Okay, everybody, go ahead and roll your initiative. I'm all set to go.
Well, we need to put our tokens on here.
Oh, that would help. That would help. Hang on, let me get those for you.
You can always do it the old-fashioned way. This is that way too. Oh. Okay.
Oh. I'm trying to figure out why I couldn't move them, and I'm realizing I'm on the wrong map. Never mind. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
But you're doing it so well.
You can just copy paste them from copy it on one map and then paste it into the next.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I was doing. It's just I was trying to paste it into SteamYard, and I was like, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working?
Stupid SteamYard.
Stupid SteamYard.
Okay, let's try this again.
Oh, wow.
Initiative.
That did not work as well as the first one.
Oh, my initiative is down here, so I just do that. I got a whole 8.
Wow. All right. Doru gets to go on 23. Okay. That was exciting.
For him, maybe.
And I'm just going to throw Father Donovich in there too.
He gets a 30.
Yeah, right. No, but he beat all you guys, that's for sure. Descending. All right.
We'll make this fast, Father. All right, everybody, nice and slow.
All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to start the round with Doru basically pulling with all of his might against the chain. And that was his turn. So then we'll move down the list. After that, Donovich is collapsed in a heap at the staircase. He doesn't do anything this round. And then Julius, you have drawn your weapon.
Hackety hack, hackety hack.
Okay.
You actually got to hit him, Matt. Saying hackety hack isn't going to kill him.
Don't talk back. 13. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say I'm going to use Divine Smite.
Divine Smite. Oh, okay. Is your greatsword magical?
It is not.
Okay.
It's only an okay sword.
So 13 total to hit?
Yes.
Unfortunately, that will miss.
But of course.
But you don't burn the smite though. The smite, yeah, you still have the smite.
You still have the smite because yeah. All right. So then next is Tez. You're up.
Wow. So it like Julius did something and it completely looked like it did nothing.
Julius swung his sword, and you see Doru very lively jump out of the way. He basically ducks down into a crouch position and then springs back up again.
All right. Well, in my adventuring kit, because I'm a monster hunter, I actually have a wooden stake.
Oh, okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
So I am going to come over here and try to wooden stake him.
Nice. Stake his ass.
All right. So then if you're trying to stake him, that would be, is that going to be, how does that work? Is that like a called shot? How do we do that?
Actually, that's a good question. I don't know if there's, hold on. Let's ask D&D Beyond.
Let's ask D&D Beyond.
Let's ask D&D Beyond.
Personally, I would call it a melee attack with vulnerability, but that's just what I'm making up. Hey, isn't that using my imagination like we're supposed to do with this game?
Is that what we're supposed to do with this game?
Imagination?
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm not.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to use.
I'm not seeing any rules, though, unfortunately. Let's see. I won't ask.
No, I think it's just...
Well, if you have a kit, it must give you the double proficiency.
Let's
Right?
see. Oh, great. Stakes are made out of wood, typically found in a Monster Hunter's pack. All right, you know, that's so cool. Wooden stake. Oh, here we go. I think this might have it. Wait, what the hell? Use this item during your hero phase instead of attacking. What the hell's a hero phase?
I don't know.
All right, so that's useless.
Did you try searching vampire?
I'm looking under vampires to see right now to see if I can find anything, but anyone else feel free to jump in.
I think this is more of a after they're dead thing. Well, after they're
yeah. All right, I'm gonna agree with
out.
Greg. So
This is more of like a coup de grace thing.
Oh, so you can't really stake during combat. Ha.
yeah, so
Tracy.
All right.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, if somebody's thrashing around, it's kind of hard to get a stake in then.
Yeah, I'm gonna approach and just shoot. Well, I got the stake out. I can't fight two-handed though, so I'll just use a dagger.
So I found stake to the heart. The vampire is destroyed if a piercing weapon made of wood is driven into its heart while it is incapacitated in its resting place.
Okay.
Okay.
So there you go.
So Matt, does a 17 hit it with a dagger? Not Matt, Mike.
That's okay. You can call me Matt. Yes, a 17 will hit.
It's
Well,
not.
Matt, does it hit?
Is that a normal? I assume that is a normal non-magical weapon.
That's a normal. It's made out of rubber.
It's one of those plastic daggers that when you stab them, the blade retracts into the handle.
And it has that little like clear tube to make it look like blood came out. Yeah.
So he does have damage resistance to non-magical attacks. So go ahead and roll your damage. Damage resistance is what, half damage?
Damage resistance, yeah, is half damage.
So what was the damage on your dagger stab there?
6 points. So he probably takes 3.
He takes 3 points of damage. He looks thoroughly irritated.
Yeah, he's probably giggling like the Pillsbury Doughboy too. He's just...
Yeah. Yes. So Mary, you did 6, and James, you did another 3.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Moving on down the line, the next person would be Bree Pine. You're back up again.
So I'm going to.
I just dropped you on the map there, so if you don't like where you ended up,
No, it would have been like.
you can definitely move yourself. Yes, a little bit further away from his claws.
Far, far away.
All right. So as they say, bong, bong. DC 13 Wisdom saving throw as the bells toll.
DP. Okay, hang on one
I'm gonna
second.
do crap to him.
So that's a bell bong, not like a stoner bong. You're not like taking hits.
Wow, he does not make his save.
Yeah, but it's 7 necrotic damage. So,
Okay, he has damage resistance to necrotic, so
he's gonna take 3.
he takes. I round down. He takes another 3.
Lame. Use my brain.
Continues to hiss and froth and looks very unhappy. Reginald, you're up.
And we miss. Okay. Well, I'm spent.
Complete miss. What'd you get?
10.
Yes, unfortunately, that is a complete miss. All right.
Just like that, I'm useless.
So, Doru is going to, you know what? I'm going to roll. He might do one of two things. He's either going to attack you or he's going to pull at the chain again. He is going to attack. He has a multi-attack. He makes 2 attacks. He's going to attempt to claw both of you. He's going to claw once at Tez and then once at Julius.
Naturally.
Oh, I throw the ball to naturally.
All right. Let me do the first one will be at Julius. And I roll. What did I roll?
I don't know. What did you roll?
I rolled a 22. I believe that hits.
He misses me. Is
Um,
that convincing?
and he does 5 points of slashing damage to you.
Ow!
That was for Tez.
All right, James. Now it's your turn.
Oh, that was for.
Oh.
Yes, I don't know if you heard that. He gets a multi-attack, which means he's attacking both of you once.
Yep.
I rolled a 16.
And Tez's AC is 15, so you hit.
You take 9 points of slashing damage.
Ouch.
As his claws rake across you. They seem pretty sharp.
Ooh.
No necrotic damage, right?
No, he does not do any necrotic damage to you.
Okay.
Unless you want him to. I mean, I can make some changes.
Well, I mean, I have resistance, so I figured I'd ask.
Right. Okay, so Father Donovich is on the ground, and he seems to be kind of just watching in disbelief. So that's all he does this round. Julius, it's now your turn.
He's watching it going, I thought you said you were going to make it quick.
Exactly. This doesn't look quick.
That'll
Wonderful. We
hit.
rolled low.
Right? That'll hit.
What'd you get?
18.
Yes, sir. That will hit.
All right. That is. Now I am using my divine smite.
Okay.
So here we go. Ready? So
Does
here's the rig.
Does he get a saving throw or anything like that?
No, it's just extra damage.
Yep.
And it's even more extra damage because he's undead.
And it's radiant. Yep.
So,
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, then go ahead and do your worst, man.
All right, so here's the sword damage. 12.
Ooh.
And
So he takes 6 from the sword. Got it.
Blah, blah, blah. So it does 2d8 radiant damage. So 2d8 for another 9 points of radiant damage.
And he does not have any resistance, so he just takes 9 points. Got it. Ouch. Okay, so your radiant damage, is that something that animates from you, or how does this work?
So when hitting with a melee weapon, add radiant damage in addition to the weapon damage. Target is a fiend or undead, add additional damage. So it doesn't really get into details, but yeah, I would assume that.
I always imagine it coming from the sky.
This is divine smite, and it's on my weapon. So I imagine that the light emanates from me and crawls down my sword as I swing, and strikes, basically explodes in a shower of light as it hits him.
Okay, so basically, as you start to swing, your whole body begins to glow with like almost a bioluminescence. Almost, it seems like this glow seems to come from within you. And as you slowly, well, I mean, to everyone else it looked like it was slow, but as you started swinging in, it slowly got brighter as it crawled down your arm. And just as the moment that you hit him with your weapon, your whole sword turned into almost like a lightsaber effect. It almost literally looked like you were holding a blade of living light. And as you strike him, there's this flash and a pop, and he immediately lets out this inhuman shriek. Where your blade strikes him, you can see that the blade itself didn't do a whole lot of damage, but the light left this huge black scar or slash across his torso. And yeah, he's very, you can see that his face is just this mask of rage. And he turns and looks at you, and he says, "I'll kill you!" And he lunges at you. And
Not that he can see because I'm wearing a helmet, but I smile.
All right, Tezukoto, brings it back to your turn.
All right, I drop the wooden stake to basically grab the spear off my back, and I'm going to fight dual-handed with spear and dagger. So the
And magic
spear
helmet.
and magic helmet, of course.
Mhm.
All right, here comes the spear. I got a 20. And-
Natural 20 or
No, just a 20.
okay, yeah, that'll definitely hit.
And the dagger's a 9, so I probably missed with the dagger.
Yes,
But
dagger
with-
will miss.
The spear is non-magical, and it does 6 points. So I guess he takes another 3.
Okay, so he takes another 3 points.
Yep.
Whatever Julius did seems to have gotten his full attention. It looks like he's not even like registering that you're I mean, you clearly hit him and you're damaging him, but what Julius did appears to have gotten his full attention.
Gotcha.
He doesn't seem to be registering that you're stabbing him. So that'll take us to Breepine. It is now your turn.
So this time I think I'm going to Ray of Frost. Twing! 25 to hit,
That will hit.
but sadly only 5 damage.
So that's magic. So he doesn't have. So he takes 5 points of damage, right?
Right. And it's cold, but I don't suppose he's got any vulnerability to that.
Nope. No.
Hey, Breepine,
vulnerability.
that was a natural 20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See on the bottom we got the cold damage
Okay. And
plus
the cold critical, yeah.
cold
All right.
critical. I know, I suck.
All right. Next is Reginald. Your turn.
Okay. This is all that I got. 1 step. 10 feet there.
Dope.
Do that. DC 13 con save.
All right. Let me make a roll. He does not make his save.
5 points radiant damage.
Did you say 5 points?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I move back where I was.
All right. And that at the end of this round, you guys don't really. I mean, you hear somebody on the staircase, and for those of you who take the time to turn and look, you can see Irina and Ismark are running down the stairs, and they both look extremely surprised. Obviously, this wasn't what they had expected at all. But yes, they are entering into combat this round, and I'm actually going to make their initiative rolls real quick. Wow, Ismark is not going anytime soon, and Irina, all right. Let me rearrange the turn order. Okay. This turn, unfortunately for you, Julius, the vampire spawn is going to concentrate his attacks on you. He's going to attempt to grapple you, and if he gets, well, let's just say that let's hope he doesn't successfully grapple you.
The vampire spawn has a name.
Come at me,
yes.
bro.
So he's going to try to hit you twice. Here's his first roll. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Hold on, I made the wrong roll. Let me try that again.
Did you miss or hit?
I didn't even look at the roll. I realized as soon as I rolled it was wrong.
Oh, because, if you missed, you could have kept it.
No. All right. His first claw is a 19. So 19's going to hit. He's trying to grapple you. So you need to escape the grapple. Go ahead and make a roll. And the DC is 13 or better to escape the grapple.
But what am I rolling?
When grappling, I believe you need to make
Athletics versus athletics.
Yes.
So strength versus athletics.
Well, athletics is a strength-based skill.
Oh.
So it's, whatever's better.
So yes, you can either roll. Okay. So his first attempt to try and grapple you misses, and you break his grasp. So he's going to try a second time to grapple you.
Does that mean he does no damage to me?
He does no damage because he was trying to grapple.
Excellent.
The second, I did it again. Hang on, I made the wrong roll.
He missed again.
His second grapple is a 26. Good Lord.
Holy.
Yeah.
DC is 13 still to escape the grapple. Boy, you're lucky. That was a crit. And you break the grapple a second time. So he comes in with both of his arms and his talons, and he reaches for you. And as he starts to try and bring his arms around you to try and come in for a bite, you manage to basically rock yourself back and forth and spin out of his grip. And a lucky thing, too, because it looks like he was going to try and bite you. Although, you're armored from head to toe. That would have been an interesting thing. But at any rate, you managed to break out of his grasp before he can sink his fangs in. That takes us to Donovich. Donovich is, at this turn, is overcome with emotion. He cries out to all of you. He says, please, please, don't kill my son. And he's going to run across the basement. And he isn't trying to grapple you, Julius, but he is basically trying to throw his arms in front of you to stop you from attacking his son. So you can still attack, but unfortunately, while he's doing this, you're going to be attacking at disadvantage. Unless you can move, if you decide to move away from him, if you move 5 feet away from the priest, then you can attack normally.
That's okay. I am going to allow him to quote unquote block me.
Okay.
Because I'm going to use my action to activate my sacred weapon, which really turns my weapon into a lightsaber.
Okay.
As an action, you can imbue one weapon that you are holding with positive energy using your channel divinity. For 1 minute, you add your charisma modifier to attack rolls made with the weapon. The weapon also emits a bright light in a 20-foot radius and a dim light in 20 foot beyond that. If the weapon is not already magical, it becomes magical for the duration. You can end this effect on your turn as part of any other action. So I light up my lightsaber and I say, there is no saving him. He must be, for his own good, put down.
Okay. So while that's happening, Irina moves closer. She draws her weapon and moves into trying to attack him. And then it would be your turn, Tezzacotl.
All right, still dual weapon attacking. So first comes the spear.
And magic helmet.
That'll miss. And the dagger.
Crappy magic helmet.
Dagger hits. For 5, so 2 points.
Okay.
Dink.
Dink. That is Tezzacotl. Julius, you are now up to bat.
Oh. Isn't this when I just did the whole lightsaber thing?
Yes, you said feel my power. And
Yes,
so I assume
no mercy.
that was your full turn, right? In order to activate your weapon and so on and so forth?
Well, it's an action. So, I mean, I guess I can still move.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
And you can take a bonus action.
I don't have
I
any
need to
bonus
have one.
actions. Well, except for, I think, lay on hands, but whatever. I'll move up here.
Okay.
So, do you get advantage when you're flanking?
No.
Unfortunately, 5th edition does not have any advantages for flanking.
Stupid 5th edition.
All right, so that's your turn?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so then Ismark goes. He is going to use his turn to move up to here. He also draws his weapon, and he says, Father Donovich, he is beyond help. If you're not going to help us, then you need to leave. and that's all he can do this turn. He draws his weapon and moves to engage. So that takes us to Breepine.
All right. I will blast.
Remember you?
I guess. Is he looking hurt at this point, or anything?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a big black scorch mark where it looks like Julius hit him with a sword. There is a couple weapon hits where other weapons have hit him. I mean, they don't look as grievous as that you think they should be. But yeah, I mean, he's getting banged up for sure.
No, incoming with another ray of frost, I guess. 14. Oh my god. It's 14 hit?
I think a 14 will just miss. Hang on one second.
No, it's not like it matters much with 2 damage.
Yep, a 14 just misses, unfortunately. All right. Fair enough.
Please kill him quicker.
What's that?
I'm asking my compatriots to kill him quicker.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Reginald, you're up.
Okay. Sorry.
God bless you.
We'll do here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Now we're stuck here. Let's try that again. What's more with feeling?
He needs a DC 13
Yep.
save.
Yep. So you take a whole 2 points of damage.
Wow, he hasn't made a save yet. He fails that save, so he takes 2 points.
2 points of radiant damage.
All right. And that'll end the round. And back to Doru. Wow, he's got lots of targets now. He's still pretty mad at you, Matt, so he's going to probably, his first claw is going to go for you, and then I'm going to roll randomly.
Sure. Did I mention come at me, bro?
Yes, I think we covered that. He tries to claw you. 10 does not claw, right?
It does not hit me.
All right, he misses. Then we're going to roll a 1d6. Looks like he's going after you, Tez. So Claw is coming at you.
Okie dokie.
I rolled a 22. Ouch.
All right, that'll hit.
11 points of slashing damage.
Ouch.
Okay. And then that's his turn. Father Donovich is not going to do anything this round that's going to affect anybody. He's basically just standing there telling you all, stop it, you're going to kill him.
That's the idea.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what we're trying to do. Irina is going to attack. And she will miss. That'll bring us to Tezzacotl. It is your turn.
All right, bonus action, Hunter's Mark. And why did it just do that? Oh, because that's the extra damage if I would hit. So let me try to hit first with my spear.
Magic helmet.
Nope, an 11, so that's a miss.
Nope, unfortunately, you're right. That will miss. All right, that brings us to Julius and his newly forged lightsaber.
Using your dagger this turn?
Oh, yeah, James, do you use your dagger this turn or just your...
No, because I used a bonus action to cast a spell.
Okay.
So can't do
Fair
it.
enough. All right, Julius.
Too many windows open. That's going to be a 17 to hit.
17 will hit.
All right. Hang on. I rolled a 2 and a 6. Hold on. Because I have something here It does something for me. When using a two-handed weapon, reroll any 1s and 2s for damage and take the second roll. So I have to reroll a d6.
Okie dokie.
Much better. So that is 14 points of damage.
Ouch.
Yep. And no resistance for you.
No resistance at all to that. Ouch. Second
magic.
black scorch mark. As you bring your sword in, you hit against his body, and there's a small flash of light, like a pop of a flash bulb. The Doru screams out again, this screech that seems to come from the abyss itself. He throws his head back and howls as you hit him, and this huge second black scorch mark appears on his torso. All right. That would bring us to Ismark. He, without hesitation, he strikes with his sword. He hits. Okay. Unfortunately, there's resistance, but he still did. He still did 4 points of damage. Not bad. Okay. That will bring us to Breepine again. Breepine, he's looking very, very battered now. He's got scorch marks all over him. He's got numerous cuts on his body from several weapons that have struck him. He definitely doesn't look like he did when you first got down here.
Bullshit. One cold damage.
All right. 6. Good. All right.
And he's dead.
He's still standing. Reginald, it is your turn. Now,
DC
James,
13.
Hunter's Mark only affects you, or does it affect other people too?
The Hunter's Mark is only me.
Okay. All right. Another DC save for me?
Mm-hmm.
And again, he does not make a save.
6 points radiant damage, please.
Did you say how much? 6?
6.
6. All right. And we start the round again. You can see that he is very battered and bruised, and you can kind of see that he gives out a couple heaving gasps. He gives one more, he kind of leans into the chain, and the chain goes taut, and then you think that he's spent. It looks like he's going to start to fall down, and then he just rolls back on his heels and then lunges forward again to renew his attacks. He is all claws. He's going to go random, so I'm just going to roll randomly. First one is going to be for Julius.
Naturally.
Naturally. I think he's got something for you, man.
You think?
It depends on whether or not he can give it to him.
Oh, he got a 10, so not today.
Nope.
Let's see. The second one is going to go for Julius. Did I mention he's got a thing for you?
I mentioned come at me, bro.
He just really wants to see what's under the helmet.
Oh, wow. He missed again. I got a 13. 13 misses.
That is
Okay.
correct. It does.
He's pulling tight against his chain, and he's just like a frenzy of activities. He's wildly clawing at you, and of course, none of his claws land. Donovich doesn't do anything. He kind of just slumps to the ground. Irina is going to take a swipe at him with her sword.
At least she tries to be useful.
Yeah, you spoke too soon. She missed.
I said tries.
That'll bring us to Tezzacodal. It is your turn.
All right, going to use the magic of Spear and Dagger.
Spear and dagger, go.
Spear misses.
Boo.
Dagger hits.
All right.
So that is going to be but I don't get the full 8 because I don't get a bonus. Oh no, wait, I have the feat. So yes, that is going to be 8 points of damage plus. Damn it, where is? How does this work? I guess an additional 6. So yeah, because I'm using a piercing or a slashing weapon, so 6. So add it up and then half it. So I guess that's going to be a 14, 7 points.
All right.
Yes, the damage from the Hunter's Mark is also doubled on a crit. That's why it rolled 2 6s.
Oh,
Awesome.
okay.
So James, your dagger, your spear misses, but your dagger lands in his rib cage between the third and the fourth rib, and you can feel it puncture into his chest. He kind of bends over your weapon and then throws himself back, and you can see a very deep gash right about where his heart would be. You're not sure if you stabbed him in the heart, but he's still standing. So,
Okay.
All right. Next is Julius.
Finish him. Fatality.
That'd be a 20 to hit,
That'll hit.
and that's another 12 points of damage. No resistance.
All right. So as he pulls himself off of the dagger and takes a step back, Julius, you do a thrust and strike him squarely in the chest, and he just crumples the weapon and then collapses to the ground lifeless.
Yay!
And the battle is over.
And with that,
We should go ahead and take a break.
Yes. Now that the battle is over, why don't we go ahead and James, a 10-minute break?
Yep, and we'll have some new trailers to watch and everything. So everyone just go ahead and mute your mics, and we'll be back in a bit.
All
Okay,
right.
Mike, shut up.
Intermission time. Time that stretch you've been wanting. And best of all, time to take your pick from that scrumptious array of tasty treats waiting for you at the snack bar, where the popcorn's poppin', the cold drinks are sparkling, the hot dogs are sling, the coffee is steaming, and a luscious treasure of confectionery delights with ice cream and candy and so much more to tempt any taste is waiting for you now at the snack bar. You'll be notified in plenty of time when the next show is about to begin.
Your father is in great danger, Paul.
Where are my raccoons?
Are these your raccoons?
I can't make the martinis without an olive.
There are 200 seniors at Midvale High, and 7 days till graduation. The class of '81 is going out in style, and they're having the time of their life. It's been a great year for Midvale High. The track team finished first in the state. Then again, Midvale always produces winners. Sally Prescott is the top gymnast in the school. She plans to go to college in the fall. Paula Kastoff won 5 cross-country events in the past year. She jogs to school every morning. Ralph Johnson is the football team's star halfback. Pete McFarland set the state record in the pole vault. Tony and Dolores were king and queen of the prom. The class of '81's being fitted for caps and gowns and coffins. There's 200 seniors at Midvale High and 7 days till graduation. Too bad there'll be no one to celebrate with. Graduation day.
Big John Taylor, mercenary, soldier of fortune. He's more than a man. He's a walking death machine. Candy O'Perrin, sexy undercover cop. Her deadliest weapon is her body. Mike O'Malley, Hollywood's top stuntman.
What do you want us to do? Fight our champions.
Only this time, the action's for real. And Rick Chan, black belt, primed for action with one blow. A death blow. Only 2 words describe the power and fury of this unstoppable team. Raw force. Join them as their carefree vacation cruise turns into hell on the high seas.
What was that?
Final port of call. Warrior Island, uncharted and unexplored.
We should not be here.
Burial grounds for martial arts masters from the past. their resting places defiled, they rise from the dead to avenge their honor. Who will win? The living? Join John Dresden, Gillian Kesner, Jeff Binney, Raymond King, and Cameron Mitchell as they band together with the incredible power of raw force, untamed and unleashed to kill.
I told you he'd be happy that we remembered him.
This Christmas, Santa's going to make everyone happy. The grown-ups and the kids. Christmas evil, the non-believers,
Watch out!
and the screamers. And this Christmas, you better believe in Santa, or he'll slay you.
Merry Christmas, Frank.
Christmas Evil, the night he dropped in.
Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney, and Konrad Ragzov. All stars who lived and died, but only one came back.
But still his corpse.
Hey, let's take the body back and show it to the girls.
Conrad, I always wanted to be your bride.
This time, die!
We did something bad. I know someone is after me.
Don't come alone.
Here among a billion stars, a lonely ship streaks along an endless path. It's the mammoth starship Enterprise. Follow her trackless journey each week on Star Trek. William Shatner stars as Captain James Kirk, Starship Commander, and Leonard Nimoy stars as Science Officer Spock, half Earthling, half Vulcanian. There are hazards that beset the Enterprise and its crew on board ship and on alien planets. Don't miss Star Trek in color.
Probing the unknown reaches of space. Star Trek, coming to Fridays this fall on NBC.
Soon, the galaxy premiere of Star Trek, rocketing in on NBC Week. The first adult space adventure blasts off Thursday, September 15th.
Enterprise log, Captain James Kirk commanding. We are leaving that vast cloud of stars and planets which we call our galaxy. The question, what is out there in the black void beyond? This is Captain Kirk of the USS Enterprise. Is there anyone on board? Is there anyone on board? Have you raised anyone, Lieutenant?
Nothing, sir.
It is an unmanned probe which seems to be carrying a warhead.
William Shatner stars as Captain Kirk, and Leonard Nimoy as Science Officer Spock on Star Trek in color.
We are back.
I love the fact that the selling point that Star Trek was in color.
Yeah, and also that Mr. Spock is half human, half Vulcan. Yeah, those are kind of up there for the we're going to be doing Star Trek on Sunday, but I just kind of find it amusing to the NBC TV ads from like 1966 or whatever it was. So
yeah,
those are kind of amusing because there wasn't even any of the music from the show. It was just all this like weird studio.
Oh yeah,
you're playing.
The other than Star Trek, all of those other movies are so totally MST3K worthy. Especially that first one, which I've actually seen and is
really
absolutely horrible.
Cry Wilderness?
The one with Bigfoot? Yeah.
So that is actually Bigfoot.
Yes. Yes. Tommy, your father's in danger. It's like, really?
Mommy.
So
Mommy. Mommy.
All right, so Mike, we are back.
So we'll pick up at the end of combat. You can see Doru's body collapse to the ground as Julius gives the fatal blow. And as his body slowly slumps to the ground, Father Donovich also seems to match the speed and falls to the ground as well, softly weeping for the death of his son.
So I don't really know about vampires, but I'm always interested in learning about new monsters. So I'm going to ask everyone, what's the deal with this guy? I heard you saying he was undead.
Yes, that's the spirits have told me that he had no life, or at least there was lifeless people here in the basement. But since there's only one, that obviously must have been him.
Mike, I will give her the lowdown on what I know of vampires.
Okay. So what does your character know of vampires?
Well, I believe wasn't that what the 13 religion was for?
Okay, sure. I can use that. So basically, he tells you that vampires are spawn of the undead. They're a more powerful form of undead that come from the negative material plane. What ends up happening is vampires, when they, if they don't choose to kill somebody, they can only drink a portion of their blood and then leave them alive. And those particular individuals, unfortunately, turn into something called vampire spawn. They are no longer alive, but they're not quite a full vampire. They are in complete servitude to the person that made them a vampire spawn. And that's unfortunately what happened to young Doru here.
Does anybody know if we need to stake him through the heart?
Mikey?
As far as vampire spawn goes, in order to make sure that he truly does not regenerate and end up becoming a vampire spawn again, yes, he has to be staked through the heart in order to ensure that he stays permanently dead.
I will.
take out from my robe a little notebook, and I write notes about what vampires are.
I will also make extra sure, and I will chop his head off.
Okay. Yeah. So Father isn't going to stick around for that business.
Good call.
He actually, as you guys are all talking about it, he very quietly gets up and without a word, he leaves the area. He goes back upstairs. You can see that Ismark and Irina look. They don't look too surprised. They seem like they're taking all of this in stride. Not too alarmed with the fact that there was a vampire spawn underneath the church. So
You two should go up with the father. You keep an eye on him. Make sure he's okay.
they nod. Ismark and Irina then go back upstairs.
I was going to say, after I chop the head off, I'm going to toss somebody a steak, and I'm going to go upstairs to talk with Father. What's his nuts?
I'll take the steak and jam him through the heart.
Okay, James. While you are stabbing the creature through the heart, you couldn't help but notice that some of the wounds that were made against the creature had already begun to start slowly healing. I mean, very, very small, but you can definitely tell that the creature was slowly starting to regenerate again, had you not cut its head off and stabbed it through the heart.
Okay, yep, I am going to go ahead and continue just jamming it through the heart.
Okay. And
Over
then I assume,
and over and over again.
I
He told
assume
me
that,
to stake it in the heart. He did say how many times.
I assume that everybody then goes upstairs once you guys are done with the vampire.
Yep.
Okay. So obviously, Father Donovich is pretty upset about the whole thing, but he seems to come to the grim realization that this was for the best. This is what needed to be done in order to truly free his son, and he seems to have at least come to terms with that.
If you have the supplies, we can help you prepare the body for burial.
Yes, I would like to do that. If you could help me, I would appreciate it greatly.
It would be an honor.
Okay. So what happens next is there's a light rain outside. There is a cemetery that's located in the back of the chapel of the church. You all start by preparing Danu, Father Donovich's son, and he is laid to rest, and he is given his final rites. And without missing a beat, he then immediately begins laying to rest the elder, Ismark the elder, the father of the two. And so you guys got a 2-for-1 today. You got two burials. So the father is also laid to rest. Yeah, right. So while they're prepping the father for burial, Father Donovich says, he goes over to you, Julius, and he says very quietly, I am not sure or very familiar with the ways of the undead. Is there any way that the father can return as an undead creature?
With my 13, do I know?
Once somebody is dead, they can't be brought back as a vampire. They technically could be brought back as another form of undead, but they couldn't come back as a vampire.
Yeah, so I answer no, he cannot come back as a vampire.
He gives a very solemn nod. And we won't dwell too much on it. It's a very somber, very formal burial. Both of the bodies are buried under a large weeping willow tree, or at least it looks like a weeping willow. Very light rain is raining with a rumble of thunder that seems to make an attempt to try and drown out Father Donovich's sincere oration about the two people that are being laid to rest. But he is able to talk above the thunder, and you all are there to witness the two being laid to rest. It is a very somber occasion, but you can see Ismark and his sister seem happy, at least to the fact that their father is laid to rest properly. And as he finishes the last rites for both of the bodies, Father Donovich goes to you all, and he says, "I thank you." He says, "And I apologize if I was distraught. I did, and I do love my son dearly. I just didn't know what I could do to help him. I hope now that at least he is at peace."
Understandable.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
He says, "I could not help but notice some of you were injured. I can help you if you seek aid, if you need aid from me."
I'm not going to refuse it.
Yeah, I can actually use a good old-fashioned heal and do.
Okay. He is going to cast a healing spell, Cure Light Wounds, on both of you. I'll start with you, Julius. It's 1d8 plus his bonus, if I remember correctly, right? Cure Light Wounds?
Sure.
Cure Light is
Cure Wound.
It's like, isn't it 2d4 plus...
D8 plus 5.
It's a D8 plus 5. Oh, okay.
What's your bonus?
It's probably a D8 plus the casting bonus. I put it down for what mine was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. So it is. It's a D8 plus his bonus. All right, got it. So Julius, he casts his spell on you, and you are restored 5 hit points. You are healed.
Perfect.
Tez, he's going to cast on you.
While he's casting on me, I also will talk to him about ideas for how to fortify the church in case it's attacked by undead again.
Okay. I'm sorry. Correction. I forgot to add his bonus in there. So, Matt, I said 5. That should have been 7.
I'm good.
Okay, and how many should I
And
get?
Tez, you get 6.
All right.
You can have my extra point.
All right. He seems to listen intently, and he says, "Your ideas are very good ones. Hopefully, if I make another plea to the town, I'll be able to find some people to come up and help me fortify the church."
Mostly, I talked to him about using the leftovers of the pews to block windows and doors and things like that. Basic defenses that he can do by himself.
Got it. Okay. So Ismark says, "I thank you very much, my friends, for allowing us to lay my father to rest. I appreciate it. Myself and my sister will be able to sleep well tonight, knowing that our father is finally in his final resting place, and hopefully it will be able to rest undisturbed."
We should get going if we want to make it to that town before the end of the night.
Ismark nods. He says, "We have a long journey ahead of us, so unless you have any other urgent business, I recommend that we make haste and leave as soon as possible. We need to try and see if we can make it to the town before sundown."
What time of day is it?
It's really hard to say. You would guess that it's sometime mid-morning, maybe shortly before lunch.
Okay.
So yeah, you'd have to say mid-morning. Again, it's a very heavy overcast and it's rainy. The sun is out, but you just, without being able to get the exact orientation of where the sun is, it's really hard to try and get an accurate gauge of time. So unless you guys do anything else, I assume you guys are heading out of Barovia and hitting the road. Is that correct?
On the road again.
You want to pick up some food to bring with us, or
say that again?
Want to pick up lunch or something to bring with us?
Well, that's kind of
what
when you guys raided the pantry, that's kind of what he was hinting at. But
okay, yeah, that's
fine. That and the wolf.
Yep. We have delicious wolf meat.
Delicious wolf meat.
Num 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 num.
Okay, so before you guys leave, Ismark says, "Come closer, my friends, and I can show you, give you a clearer idea of the journey that lies ahead of us." And he pulls out a very weathered and worn map, and he lays it down on the cart in front of him. And hopefully, you guys will be able to see that map.
Hey, look, a fuzzy map.
Oh, there we go.
Is it coming into focus? Good Lord.
There it is.
No.
That's a. Oh, there we go.
All right, let me see if I can slide it into view a little bit better there.
Wow, I don't see towns.
Wait.
Oh,
Slow down, James.
Town.
Yeah, it's unmarked, so I'll have to show you everything. So scroll down a little bit, James. Okay, so stop there. All the way over to the far right, you can see the town of Barovia there. That is the town that you're in right now. Yep, correct. And then if you look to the northeast of that town, that is Castle Ravenloft up on the mountain.
That's west.
Now you're going to be traveling westward. So if you follow the path westward, you'll be going past the lake. And then the town of Vallaki is... Where is the town of Vallaki? Hang on.
Is it
that's not the town. Hang on. Let me see if I can get the town in the frame here.
I don't think he has going closer to the castle.
Okay, scroll up a little bit, James. And a little to your left or
Back
more.
to the left.
A little bit more.
To the left.
There it is. Yep. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That is the town of Vallaki.
And we need to make that today.
Yes. He says if we make haste, we should be able to get there hopefully by the end of the night. By the end of the day, we should be able to arrive at Vallaki.
It's only a quarter mile per hex, so.
Oh, okay.
Yes. He says it can be done in one day if we move quickly.
Well, let's make haste.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to be out here after dark.
Okay.
Me.
To make things go faster, I am definitely riding in the cart.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying who's carrying me.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Boss is los.
You ask what that is on the map?
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing it's a gate or something. That's what it looks like.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It is a gate. It helps to keep people safe, he says, with a very thin smile.
Safe, he says.
Safe or safe?
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are taking the cart with you. I assume the I don't want to say little people. That sounds so bad. But the two smaller of the group are going to be riding in the cart. Is that right?
The wee ones.
The wee ones.
Yep.
Okay. So then you guys will be moving at 30 feet, I guess.
Yeah, we'll be moving at whatever speed the other walkers are moving.
So
if we're in the cart, we move at the same speed as the horse.
Well, we can make the horse move slower.
This bridge here, the way the hexes fall on it, kind of looks like a tank.
A very big tank.
Now, I'm guessing that we're taking the path that I drew.
Do you think we're going that way? Why you wouldn't go?
Yeah, there's really no other path.
Yeah.
I thought I was seeing another path, but I guess it was just when it was zoomed out more.
Yeah.
There's plenty of overland.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to ask him, what's this town right here? Probably not a town, probably more like a settlement.
Village.
Yes, he says that's a settlement. There are a group of people who live there year round. They're called the Vicenti. They are, how do you say, They're nomads. They are gypsies. They are gypsies, and they travel from town to town.
They don't mind if we pass through?
He gives you kind of a sly smile, and he says, as long as you keep a close hand on your purse, there should be no trouble going through their area.
Will do.
He says, come, my friends. We cannot waste any more time. Let us journey forth. So is there any particular marching order? Are you guys all just kind of congregating around the cart? Not that it makes any great difference.
Tez will try to move ahead because, that's what he does. He's a scout. So he will kind of just move ahead, just kind of make sure that the road, he won't be any more than maybe double or a little bit over distance from the cart and the horses, but just far enough to be able to see, anything that might be ahead.
And I will be right in front of the cart leading it.
Okay. And the other two are riding in the cart.
Yeah, and 1 second before we get off this map screen. Which direction did we come from? Where was the house?
The house.
Good question.
It's further. It would be actually technically off the map on the right-hand side. If you are looking at the village of Barovia, it would be about another half an inch to an inch off the map.
So we had to go through the gate to get to it. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you guys didn't see that gate there. You guys landed about 2 or 3 hexes to the right of Barovia.
So,
okay.
Over here.
Correct. Yep. Right about where that black circle just popped up.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
That
Very
wasn't
interesting.
far at all then. Mike, I'm going to step away for a moment. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. So Ismark and his sister are basically guiding the horse and the cart. They're on either side of the horse. Brepine and Reginald, they're making small talk with you, just mostly to pass the time. I mean, they aren't talking really. They're not prying or asking any personal questions, but mostly, where you're from, what is it like from where you are, and questions about what kind of things do you eat there? Does it rain all the time like it does here in Barovia? Stuff like that. Like I said, mostly questions to pass the time. They don't seem like they're trying to be nosy or prying. They're just mostly curious.
Partially answer most of them.
All right. So the path is well traveled. So the cart has no troubles following the road. The day continues, and around noon, or what you would guess to be about noontime, there is a brief break. As you can see, the clouds kind of open up a little bit, and for a very small window, you can see the sun. It doesn't really clear up. It isn't a clear sky. There's still lots of clouds, but you can see a very small window, a very small hole in the sky where the sun is. But it's very fleeting. It's only there for a couple moments before the clouds come back in again, and it becomes very heavy and overcast once more. So you follow along your path, and you reach the Visanti campground. You can see that a bunch of small caravans. They look like large wagons, for the lack of a better term, like the old Wild West wagons, where they had a canvas top that covered the top of the wagon. You can see about 6 of these. They are grouped in a circular formation, and in addition to that, there's a couple tents as well. The road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path that weaves its way through the trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of comings and goings of wagons into this area. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way to black clouds rolling in from far above. You can see a clearing here next to the river, and it widens to form a small lake in several hundred feet across. You can see 5 colorful round tents, each about 10 feet in diameter, and pitched outside is a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands on the shore of the lake, its sagging form lit from within. Near this tent, you can see 8 unbridled horses that drink deeply from the river. You hear the mournful strains of an accordion clash with the singing of several brightly clad figures around a small fire. A footpath continues beyond this encampment, meandering north between the river and the forest edge. Once you guys approach, you can see a bunch of very brightly colored dressed people emerging from from the camp, and they begin to approach slowly. You can see Ismark the Lesser kind of shake his head, and he says, "I was afraid of this. They're probably going to ask us a bunch of questions. We don't have time. We should probably keep moving if we can." One of the Visanti approach and says, "Welcome, welcome, strangers. Welcome to the Visanti and everything that we have. Would you care to stop? We would be happy to indulge you in food or song or dance, or perhaps maybe even to have your fortune told by the great Madame Ava."
That sounds fantastic.
I love it. Ismark's like, "Okay, you guys, we can't stop. Hey, you want your fortune? Yeah, sure. That sounds great."
I can be overruled by the group. It just sounds like fun.
You can see one of the Visanti gives you a big, broad smile, and he says, "Wonderful, wonderful. Please follow me. I'll show you over to the Madame Ava's tent. There she will be able to tell your fortune, and all will be revealed." He begins to usher you over towards the larger tent. You can see that Ismark the Lesser looks like he wants to try and protest this, and then just kind of stops and just kind of hangs his head. And he begins. He stops the horse, and then he says, "Well, perhaps we should rest quickly and water the horse and make sure the horse has got water for the trip ahead."
Yes, and I heard mention of food. That sounds excellent.
So you do see the encampment as mentioned above, and there is a fire, and you can see they have several spits of meat roasting over the fire. You can see there is two Visanti that seem to be playing an accordion and a violin, and several more are joined in to sing a very off-colored song. You're not quite sure what it's about. It seems to be being sung in a language you're not familiar with. The one that greeted you says to you, "Right this way, please follow me, and I will show you to Madame Ava's tent." Oh, there we go. If you look at Julius, he's got a what is the official name of that one, Matt?
There is no official name of this one as of yet. I'm in the process of painting it still.
Oh, cool.
It fits.
How convenient. So is everyone following the gentleman that's leading you to Madame Ava's tent, or is somebody doing something else?
I'm probably heading over where the nice bits of meat are being cooked and doing that weird cat thing where my tongue just basically does that, like licking around the sides of my mouth.
I'm going to casually say to the kitty cat, "Save me some," and I'm going to go with Brie Pine.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just apologizing profusely to Ismark.
So Ismark the Lesser and his sister they are in the process of taking not the saddle. I'm not quite sure what it's called. The harness. Taking the harness off of the horse and leading it down to the river so it can get some water.
Of course.
The rest of you head over to the large ornate tent where Madame Ava is. So I'll start with you real quick, Tez. So you approach, and they all turn, and they give you a big, broad smile, and they say, "Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Please come to our fire. Drink from our wine and make merry with us. For the day is short, and no one knows when your number will be called. Please have a seat and enjoy the food that we have to offer." It's a little unusual because up to this point in time, everyone's been greeting you with some, suspicion. And these people don't really seem to be bothered at all by your appearance. They seem to welcome you right in, and they ask you to sit down. And somebody pulls out, you see one of the guys pulls out a dagger and begins cutting large hunks of meat off of the spit and is laying them on a plate. And pretty much before you can say much of anything at all, you've got a plate of steaming meat from the spit on front of you with a large goblet of wine. And they say, "Drink, eat, be merry, and tell us a tale of where you have come from."
So they don't look like witches to me, so I'm definitely gonna go ahead and start eating and drinking, and I'll start telling them about Mastika and where I came from and so on and so forth.
They seem very enthralled with your story. It's not so much what you're saying, but how you're. It's not so much how you're saying it; it's what you're saying. They seem very fascinated, and they also are playing a couple jaunty tunes while you're telling your story. The guy seems to be trying to play the accordion to match the tone of your story as well. So, but they just seem to be enjoying what you're saying. Awesome. And they say, "Well, welcome, my friend. Welcome to Barovia and the lands that are all around you. It is fraught with danger, but if you watch your step, you will truly have an experience that is worth telling, if not once, but several times over the course of a lifetime." Right. So unless you do something else, it's some sort of spiced meat. You would guess maybe it's deer, but you're not sure really what they're feeding you. But it's good. It tastes good, and the wine is also good. It tastes like a nice deep a Merlot or something along those lines, something fruity and not too tart. I don't know if Tabaxi like wine, but maybe I don't know.
They do now.
Yeah.
Do Tabaxi like wine?
No, I'm sure there's some sort of like fermented
banana yak.
Yeah.
Okay. At some point, Ismark the Lesser and his sister come over, Irina, and they come over and they look a little cautious, but at some point they sit down, and before too long they have a glass of wine in their hands as well, and they seem to be just mingling with the others, and they seem to have let their guard down a little bit.
Okay.
I'm keeping an eye on the horse.
Yes, the horse is behind them and is in your sight, so it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. He seems to be nibbling on the grass that's in the area. So unless you do something otherwise, I'll cut to the other people. Yep. So you guys enter, and you can see a large magic flame cast in a reddish glow over the interior of this large tent, revealing a very low table covered in black velvet cloth. Glints of a green of light seem to flash from a crystal ball on the center of the table, and you see a hunched figure peering into its depths. As the crone speaks, her voice cackles like dry weeds. "At last, you have arrived!" Cackling laughter bursts like mad lightning from her weathered lips. She says, "Greetings, greetings, strangers from lands afar. My name is Madame Ava. Please sit down. Make yourselves comfortable."
Okay.
I'm not going to sit. I'm going to stand behind Breepine.
Okay.
I'm going to sit and get comfortable.
All right.
I heard you tell fortunes.
You have heard correctly, Breepine, if that is your name.
It is.
She says, "I am Madame Ava. I am the leader of the Visanti, and I am the premier seer of the future. I can tell your fortune, and I can tell your outcome by looking into my crystal ball. But beware, not all tidings are good. There could be things that you do not wish to know. Do you wish to have your fortune told?"
Yes.
"Very well. We will begin." She looks at you and she says, "Reginald, would you like some wine?"
Oh, I'm still over with the horse.
Oh, then she says, she smiles and says, "Come now, Julius, there's no need to be suspicious. I mean you no harm. Please make yourself comfortable."
I'm not suspicious. I'm curious.
"Very well." She then produces from within her robes almost like a magic trick. She pulls her hands apart, and there's a deck of cards that is now lying in her hands. And she begins to move the cards, shuffling them between her hands. She says, "We will read the fates and determine what will become of these noble adventurers in the land of Barovia." So she will then draw cards. Now there's something set up here. I tried it once. We're going to try it again. Let's see if it works. I got it to work the first time. Let's see if I can get it to work a second time.
Okay.
If it doesn't, I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and just draw the cards and let you guys know what I get. But I'm hoping I can use what they have set up here in Roll20. So just bear with me and let me see if I can find the cards. The infamous Taraka deck.
Taraka deck. That's a good little boy. What a good moon. Hey, moon me.
If you want just the deck itself, it's under the macro tab.
Oh, it is. It is. You're right. Thank you, Greg.
There's the complete deck, and then there's the common deck and the high deck.
Macros. So, show. There we go. All right, so she begins shuffling the cards, and then she starts drawing each one. So she will draw the first card.
High deck is the one that you want?
What's that?
You want the high deck, not the complete deck?
Oh, no, you're right. I should have the complete deck. There we go. And I will hide the... There we go. Nope. Hang on. Let me try one more time. There we go.
All right. Do I get to draw a card? Draw a card, any card?
First, let me shuffle.
Okay.
And then, I don't know. Can you? I don't know.
Yeah, it says I can click on something that says draw.
Go ahead and draw.
I draw. How many cards should I draw?
All of them.
All of them.
How many cards does Mistress Ava want me to do?
She says, draw the first card, and I will peer into it to tell you what future you what the future holds for you.
Okay. Oh, that's what I got. Transmuter.
Transmuter. All right.
Click on something.
Oh.
Hang on a second. I'm looking up Transmuter.
Wow.
I think you can click on it and drag it out on the board.
So I just did something that was kind of weird. I didn't know that this would happen. I clicked on it so I could look at it, and it tells me I'm stealing.
I just said
Denied.
no.
No stealing the cards.
I think if you click on it, you can drag it out on the field, and then everybody can look at it.
Well, when I click on it, it says steal. Oh, there we go. Transmuter. There it is.
It's so tiny. Oh, it's cute.
Let me see if I can. There, is that better?
There we are. Ooh. Now everybody can see it.
Sorry, bear with me. I'm looking for where they do the reading. I think they do it in the beginning. Yeah, here it is. 11. She says, this card tells of history, knowledge of the ancient will. This card will help you better understand your enemy, the Transmuter. And let me look up what transmuter is.
Me?
There are a lot of cards here. Hang on. There's got to be a faster way to go through these.
Can you type it at the top?
Yep, I'm doing that right now. She says, the transmuter, in order to find this person, you will need to go to a place of dizzying heights where the stone itself is alive. Once you reach this place, you will find somebody who will be able to aid you in your quest. Now, I can give you this information. You guys don't have to take all this information down now.
Sorry.
Just make sure that you guys write down the cards, and I can tell you later what each of the cards means, or if you follow that. Okay, you can draw the next card, if you will.
Blurp.
Aha! What did we get? Swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler.
I'm going to blow it up so everyone gets a good look at it.
He's buckling his swashes.
It's a female swashbuckler.
Nice.
She peers at the card and she says, I see the skeleton of a deadly warrior lying on a bed of stone, flanked by gargoyles. Finding the swashbuckler shall aid you, but the future is dim. I do not know what aid you will be given once you find the swashbuckler. However, it'll be important to you in trying to escape the lands of Barovia. And that's the swashbuckler. Okay, you can draw the next card. Actually, technically, she's putting them in an order, so this one would go here. All right, so the third one, what do we get? We got the Elementalist, I think is how you'd say that.
Mm-hmm.
Magic fingers.
No comment. She peers at the card and she says, the treasure that you seek is hidden in a small castle beneath a mountain, guarded by large amber giants. This treasure will aid you as well in trying to defeat the person that keeps you confined to the lands of Barovia. And that one goes here. Oops. Okay, you can draw the next card.
How many cards are you drawing?
There's 5 cards that need to be drawn total, so 2 more. Did you draw a card? Yes, there we go. Oh, what'd you get? What'd you get?
Trader.
The Traitor.
Which is better than the traitor.
Mm-hmm.
She says, look to the Wizard of the Wines. In wood and sand, the treasure hides. Again, this is another piece of treasure that will aid you in defeating the person that keeps you captive. The last and final card.
There you are.
Ooh, looks like the warrior. It is the warrior.
Come out to play, yay!
That which you seek lies in the womb of darkness, the true devil's lair, the one place to which he must return. If you are able to locate this place, then you will find the one tool and one weapon that will truly defeat and destroy your enemy.
Who are you calling a tool?
There you have it. There's your reading, and the cards never lie. So I can give you guys, I'll put notes at the end of the game. I'll put this in notes as far as each of the cards and what they mean in full detail. So you guys don't have to take down copious notes on what the reading means. You can refer to it. Well, I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm going to make sure it's available so that you guys can look it up later at your leisure. But that is the reading that she gives. She says, all of this information will help you in your quest to return to your own lands, and to, if you wish to truly defeat Strahd, these are the places that you need to go in order to, and people that you need to talk to in order to do so. Do you have any other questions for Madame Ava?
Yes. Have you come across other people who just sort of ended up here out of nowhere?
Oh, yes. Yes, you are definitely not the first.
Do you know
and
why?
If you're not careful, you will not be the last.
Do you know why we're sucked here?
You are here because of the man who calls himself Strahd. He is truly twisted and evil. He has cast an powerful enchantment on these lands, and nobody is able to leave while he is in control. In addition to that, in order to sate his curiosity and put aside his boredom, he calls people from distant lands and magically absconds them, transporting them here for his own amusement and enjoyment. Nobody knows for sure why he does this, other than for some perverse enjoyment of watching people suffer in his lands as they try to find some way to escape. Many have tried, and many have failed.
Are you really the head of the Quickie Mart?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Thank you. Come again. She kind of gives a smile and she says, do you have any other questions for Madame Ava?
Not I.
Okay, but how long have we been here?
The reading only took about half an hour.
Does the horse look sated?
Yes. Ismark the Lesser kind of gets up and kind of does one of those big dramatic stretches and says, well, we really should be going. We have much distance to travel yet. Thank you. Thank you very much for your enjoyment, for your food and wine, Visanti. We appreciate it, but we truly must be going. We wish to get to Vallaki before nightfall, and the daylight is fading quickly. So you guys all congregate, I assume, back at the wagon. Is anyone doing anything else?
Do we actually have enough time to get there before dark?
Gonna be close.
I'm going
again.
to...
It's really hard to get a really accurate sense of time. You know, it's early afternoon, and they said it would take a full day. It's going to be close. You guys know you've traveled a little bit. You've traveled for about an hour, but you're not sure if you guys are going to be able to get there by nightfall.
I am going to make the suggestion that perhaps we should stay here for the night where we have additional people to assist us if we need to defend ourselves, and then set out first thing in the morning.
Ismark kind of nods. He says, well, I don't know if the Vasanti will protect us. They choose their alliances very carefully. They fear Strahd, and they fear that Strahd will destroy them with ease if he is inclined to do so. So I do not think that we should depend on them for any kind of protection. If we are attacked tonight, then we are on our own.
Would you like me to talk to them?
He kind of gives a smile and he says, you're more than welcome to do so, but they fear Strahd as much as anyone else. And more importantly, they're not welcome in any of the towns because of their reputation.
Their reputation?
Yes.
Hey, it might be safe in this castle up here.
You know, there's that red line that you just need to hang a right and you could go right up to the castle. I'm sure he'll let you right in.
Maybe they've got a phone.
Yeah, that's right. Over at the Frankenstein place?
Exactly. So I ask him, since he's brought up the reputation, about their reputation, because I don't know who they are.
He kind of smiles. He says, the Vasanti are known as tricksters, swindlers. They're known to sometimes steal. They don't really truly belong to this land. They don't belong to Barovia. They belong to a land somewhere outside of Barovia, and they're strangers in a strange land. They have made their way by less than honorable activities. They are tolerated because of their mirth and their music. And when they do come to one of the towns, they do bring a lot of enjoyment that people so desperately crave. But at the same time, they are known for their less than savory activities. So more often than not, they do not stay in town for very long, for one reason or another.
What if we had a second horse?
Second horse to make the cart go faster?
Yes.
That would work, but then the cart would actually be... Well, then the cart would be victim to the people who are walking. So unless everybody is in the cart and the cart is moving, you
Can everybody fit in the cart?
As fast as... What's that?
Can everybody fit in the cart?
It would be cramped, but yeah, you guys could all use the cart at the same time.
I'm assuming that the was it the Vistani?
Yes, the Vistani, correct.
I'm assuming they have horses.
Ismark gives you a big smile and he says, "Oh, I am sure they're more than willing to sell you a horse."
Well then, I say I'll be right back. And
okay.
I go to talk to Madam Butterfly, whatever her name is.
Yeah,
I'm not good with names.
Definitely not Madam Butterfly. That's the wrong movie, Keith.
I thought it was Madame Tussauds.
All right, so you return to Madame Ava's tent, and she says, "Greetings, you have returned. How can I help?"
I was wondering if it would be possible for us to borrow or purchase one of your horses.
She gives a very broad smile. She says, the Vasani take great pride in their horses. They are breeded especially. We would be more than happy to let you buy one of them, but unfortunately, they do not come cheap.
Can you define not cheap for me?
She says, well, you would have to talk to my, I do not deal in such matters. You'd have to talk to my eldest son. He would be able to help you if you wish to purchase a horse. Point
the way.
Okay. She opens up the tent flap and she points to one of the gentlemen standing, and she says, his name is Jessor. He will be able to help you if you are interested in purchasing one of the horses.
I thank her and I approach Jessor.
Yep.
And I say to him, well met, Jessor.
And he nods.
I am
Well
Julius.
Well, Julius, says, I see that you're getting ready to go. It is a shame that you have to leave so early. What can I do for you?
It is a shame. Unfortunately, we are on a tight schedule and we have fallen a bit behind. I was wondering if perhaps you would be willing to part with one of your horses for a sum.
He kind of nods. He says, well, we weren't prepared to sell any horses, but we can definitely part with one of them if you are in need of it. We have several that are healthy and would be able to help you pull your cart.
I nod.
However, we are very selective about our horses. These are fine animals that will serve you well. They do not come cheap.
And when you say they do not come cheap, what are we looking at for price?
175 gold pieces.
Yow.
175 gold pieces.
Or gold coins from whatever country you're from.
Of course. Would it be possible to rent one of your horses and bring it back?
He kind of pulls on his goatee a little bit. Rent. That's something that we never considered before. Let me discuss this with my brothers and see if we're willing to let you borrow one of our horses and have it returned.
With a payment, of course.
Of course. They have a hushed conversation. Do you have any? Oh gosh, what would be the skill here? They don't have like barter or diplomacy. I guess diplomacy would probably be the best thing on the character.
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Well, there's a fine line because technically Julius isn't really Well, I guess he might be persuading them to let him. It's up to you. I'll leave it up to you, Julius. You can either make a persuasion roll or you can make a diplomacy roll.
There's no diplomacy.
There is no diplomacy. What else is there besides persuasion?
Intimidation. Deception.
Well, definitely not intimidation. Wow.
Persuasion, deceit.
Yeah, I think diplomacy would be rolled into perception.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You mean
All
persuasion?
right. Let's go ahead and make a persuasion roll.
How's that for a persuasion roll?
Nice.
What'd you get?
17.
All right. Fair enough. He comes back to you and he says, very well. He says, we will allow you to rent or borrow our horse under the condition that the horse comes back in the same condition that we give it to you. You are able to have the horse for 25 gold pieces per day.
Very well. And I will even suggest better if it does not come back in the condition that it is lent in, then I will double the buying price.
He nods. He says, that seems like a fair deal. He says, what is your name, stranger?
Julius.
Julius. He holds out an extended hand. Then we will shake and we will have we have come to an arrangement.
I shake his hand and I say, I can pay you for 1 day now. And when I return, I will pay the balance.
And no imperial entanglements?
And no imperial entanglements. But if there are, I will dump my cargo at the first sign.
All right. So you give him 25 gold. They bring over a young mare that is all black with a white star on its head and has white cuffs on its hoofs. And they say, "This is Midnight." Midnight is one of our finest horses. Very friendly. He also gives you about a half a dozen apples and says you would do well to feed her an apple occasionally. That will prevent her from wandering off and trying to find her own.
Excellent. At a game, how many silver and a gold in this version?
10 usually.
10, yeah.
10? Okay, so I have 20 gold.
Okay.
And I have 30 silver.
I have 10 silver to my name.
You bought stuff? I didn't buy anything when I was in the store. I still got all my gold.
For the extra 2 gold, I'm going to offer them a vial of holy water.
Okay. Unless anyone else is offering anything else, you're offering what? What are you giving them? 20 gold?
It's a total of 23 gold and a bottle, a vial of holy water.
They take the 23 gold and they give the holy water back to you and say, "Trust me, my friend, we will take your gold. You can pay us the difference at a later date. I believe you will need this more than we will." And they give you back the holy water.
Fair enough. And I thank them.
They give you the 23 gold and Midnight the horse with 6 apples.
And I will return to the group and let them know what deal I have struck.
Okay. Ismark kind of nods and says, that was very creative. Hopefully with 2 horses, and if we're all riding in the wagon, we should be able to make great time, provided that there are no obstacles between here and Vallaki.
Indeed. I turn to Tex.
Tez.
Right? Tex. Yeah, Tex. I told you I'm bad with names.
I call him Tex.
Did you save any food for me?
Well, shit howdy. We I don't know if I'm Tex, so I still have an accent. Yeah, we just rustling around the campfire. I'll say there's plenty of meat. Yes, here, have meat.
We have plenty of wolf left.
Yeah, well, I think the whole idea of trying to get food from them was to help make our food last longer.
To stretch out that wolf.
Yep.
We should get going before.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys saddle up the second horse. The 2 horses working together will definitely give you a lot more speed. And like I said, it's not a huge cart. It's just big enough basically for all of you to sit either on one side or the other. Luckily, there's 2 of you in the group that are, a little smaller than human-sized. So with that extra added bonus, you guys are able all to squeeze onto the cart.
So Ted's driving. You've got animal handling, right?
I might, Rabbit. Let's see.
I do.
I don't have a train, but I have a good skill in it.
Is there a seat for driving the wagon, the cart?
Yes, there is a small elevated bench that's right behind the horses where 2 people can sit, and then the remainder of the group will be basically seated in the bed of the cart itself.
Well,
like I said,
I offer to drive, and everybody else can relax in the back.
So whoever the driver is, and Ismark the Lesser will be sitting in the shotgun, if you will, and the driver's seat. And the rest of you are pretty much elbow to elbow, but you guys are all able to squeeze into the cart. So who did we decide is driving? Is it you? Is it you, Tez, or
Julius?
Julius, you're driving.
Me.
Okay.
It's all about you.
All about me.
Unless you're doing any kind of fancy maneuvering, looks like Ismark is going to be guiding you down the path. I mean, it seems like a pretty straight It's a pretty straight cut road. He says, we want to keep to the left, though. We do not want to veer right. We want to keep going left.
Right.
Is Tez soft and fluffy?
Is Tez, he would have to answer that question. Tez, are you soft and fluffy?
Yeah, I have that kind of silky fur glean.
I snuggle up with Tez and try and take a nap.
All right. It's that kind of wagon ride. Cool.
Yeah, apparently.
Kind of like a haunted hayride, but different. No. So, Matt, unless you're doing anything faster than a trot, you don't need to make a roll unless you, like I said, unless you're doing some kind of fancy maneuvering or you decide you want to get the horses faster than a trot.
Yeah, unless something comes up, I don't think that's necessary unless I'm told that we're not going to make it.
Okay. So let me roll for the next 4 hours of your journey. I'm just making some rolls that are undetermined at this time, so pay no attention to them and do not worry.
Jackie's not even making any rolls. We're just hearing the sound of dice for no reason.
What dice?
Some rolls that are rolling, and right. So you guys are continuing. The 4 hours passes uneventfully. As I said before, I've mentioned the wilderness and the landscape seems to be largely devoid of any wildlife. You don't hear birds calling. You don't hear animals of any kind. It's heavy and overcast, and you can see big storm clouds rolling in. It does rain briefly for a little while, but the rain stops. So after 4 hours, you reach, you've just passed the Barovia gatehouse, which is a very huge portcullis gatehouse with 2 large keep structures. It has a local militia there that are guarding the gate. Yep, that's it right there. And it looks like it's largely to police anybody going in and out of Barovia. You guys are not given any problems. They have the gate open for you as you guys are leaving. And they close the gate after you guys leave with a very ominous thud. So
I ask Ismark, are we leaving, is just that region Barovia, or is that the Barovia in Barovia?
The village is called Barovia and the land is called Barovia as well. So we've left the village area of Barovia and now we're in the lands of Barovia.
It's Inception.
Yes. We're in a Barovia within a Barovia.
On the planet Barovia.
Right.
We heard you like Barovia, so we put a Barovia in your Barovia so you can Barovia while you're Barovia.
Exactly.
So he says, now that we've left the gatehouse behind us, I must caution you all to be on your guard even more than before. While we were in the lands of within the gatehouse, there was some safety. Now we are truly on our own.
I will get my sling out.
Ismark says, we are making good time. He says, hopefully, if things continue as they are, we should arrive at Vallaki just as the sun is beginning to set. Unless anybody does anything, I'm going to make some more rolls that have nothing to do with what's going on right now, so pay attention to them. These are rolls that have nothing to do. Okay, so the next 4 hours will take you to the village of Vallaki. I'm sure you guys have a snack or eat something if you guys get hungry. Riding in the cart isn't very comfy. I mean, it's the road is pretty smooth, but there's no shock absorbers in the cart. It's a little bumpy. It's a bumpy ride, and doing this for 8 hours definitely leaves you guys a little sore.
That's why I was finding myself a furry, comfy cat.
Does a wet Tez smell as bad as a wet cat?
I'm going to say yes, probably.
So if we do take a quick stop for, leg stretching and eating, I am going to excuse myself and wander out of sight so that I can eat.
Okay. Wow, you're going all Mandalorian on us, aren't you?
Yeah, there's a reason.
Very fair enough. Yes.
This is the way.
Just before you reach the wooded area that would lead you into Vallaki, I'm going to see if I can try and hit it right there. The Ismark says we should stop here and let's see if we can get the horses a little water before we finish the final leg of our journey. So you guys all get out and kind of stretch a little bit and have something to eat. And Julius, you kind of wander off. You're still in sight of everybody, but you're far enough away where they can't really see that if your helmet's on or off.
Yeah, basically, if that's where we are, I'm going to kind of wander into the woods a little bit where I can see them, but they're not likely to see me.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so unless anybody does anything else, nothing happens during this brief stop. You all have something to eat and drink and reluctantly climb all back into the wagon and finish the final leg of your journey, which is about an hour and change.
Mm-hmm.
So just as Ismark had predicted, just as the sun is beginning to set, which again, you guys can't really tell, you can see that it's starting to get darker. And that's the only thing that gives you an indicator that the sun is beginning to sink away. You guys arrive in the small town of Vallaki, and 11:47. I'm gonna again. I hate to call it quits a little early, but we're gonna at midnight. We'll stop here, and I think this would be a good stopping place, and we'll pick it up next time with you guys entering the town of Vallaki. How does that sound?
Yeah,
sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Good.
So I've got some exciting news. You guys hit another milestone. You successfully made it to Vallaki, which means you guys all leveled up.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Ooh.
You're all now 4th level.
This is a fun level, too, where we either get a feat or we can raise our attributes. So neat.
That's absolutely right. You guys can either take a feat or raise an attribute, if you will. I don't need to know right now immediately, but obviously before the next time we play, if you guys can have that ready, that'd be awesome. Now, the next time we're supposed to play, of course, would be in 2 weeks, which would be the 25th. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're not going to play on the 25th. We can try and figure out what we want to do later, James, if we want to see if we can set up another date between now and then, or just take a longer break and then play again on the 8th. I don't know.
All right.
We can do that. We can do that as offline. We don't have to do that now.
Exactly.
But just something for you guys to think about if you want to try and see if we can settle on a date that everyone wants to play between now and then. And that will bring this chapter to a close for tonight. And I will pass it back to James. Over to you, James.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. And we're definitely here. Check us out on our various channels. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and Twitch. Definitely Twitch can use some love. So if you get out there, please follow us, and or on YouTube, give us a subscription. Hit the bell icon. That really helps us out. And I also just want to mention everyone on the stream as I kind of bring it up on the screen again. We are streaming a really awesome Star Trek game on Sunday, 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with some authors from Modiphius, writers for the Star Trek Adventures RPG, and 3 great science fiction authors who have come from various books and various paths. So check us out. And other than that, I will say good night and hit the good night button. So everyone, have a good night.
Say good night, Gracie.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.